All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nathan Ivy with you. I just want to give you a couple of moments to like and in particular share today's show. It's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. I want you to look at this image. That's the cover art for today's show, fam. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome. Rise and shine. Good morning to you. Today's show brought to you by my friends over at Renew Community Church. And this offer is available up until Friday. And by this offer, I mean the 30 minutes of free coaching. You know, my friends over at renewcommunitychurch.org, they kicked off the Focus 2021 series this year. Something different, something to hopefully inspire you, to give you the tools to live your life's true purpose, to achieve your dreams. And they're offering a 142-page ebook. Now, that offer is going to go past this Friday. But the deadline, if you want to get signed up for 30 minutes of free coaching, it could be on business, it could be on a personal matter, it could be on life. And I recommend, if you're curious at all, sign up. Sign up. Make sure you sign up for sign the waiver, but sign up. And I've heard a lot of good things about people, a lot of good experience that people have had when it comes to life coaches and career coaches and business coaches. Now, you might be like, Nate, that's foreign to my experience. Okay, great. That's cool. But I'll put it out there. The offer is for you. To all my listeners, there's a link in today's description. So look at this cover and tell me, do you see anything wrong with this picture? That is a former NBA player. His name is Paul Pierce. And he actually was a pretty good player. I used to really enjoy watching him play because he had such a great, his game was sort of, I won't call it awkward. He just seemed very non-traditional in his movements. The jumper was straight wet. And he won at least one championship with the Boston Celtics, the original big three, him, Garnett, and Ray Allen. And of course, they battled the Lakers and then battled LeBron. And since then, since he has retired, he has made a name for himself working for ESPN. Well, it's being reported that ESPN has recently fired him. They have parted ways. And they've parted ways because of what appears to be an Instagram post, a post that was posted by Paul Pierce himself, NBA legend. I saw this a few days ago and my eyebrows went up like, whoa, we doing this, Paul? Now, backstory, Paul Pierce, everyone knows this is an avid poker player as of myself. I love a good game of poker. Let me know where the game is. And he posted a video apparently from his house. It was poker night. And it looks like they had some ladies over. Now, just before we start here, Paul Pierce is married with children, as I understand it. His wife, I don't believe, was in the shot at all. But you could see some other scantily clad women. And it looked like maybe they were strippers or whatever. And they were dancing around in two pieces. Nothing I saw was what I would call pornographic or X-rated. Actually, it was relatively tame, quite honestly. You know, you could see more than that at Instagram. You can see more than what we saw. You can see just as much, if not more, on Instagram any day of the week with all these Instagram models. You can see it for free. And he was also drinking and smoking marijuana. Now, marijuana is legal in a lot of states in America. I'm not sure where he actually lives, but apparently this led to his separation from ESPN. And I want to get your thoughts about it. Do you think that Paul Pierce did anything wrong? I watched as many of the videos as I can find, and I'll be honest with you. I struggle with it. I'm still trying to figure out, like, where did bro go wrong? Like, what exactly did bruh say that was so wrong? Hold on here. I see a little lint on you, boy. What exactly did bruh say that was so wrong? You know what I'm saying? What exactly did he say, or what exactly did he do that was so bad that it would lead to him being suspended? Again, I watched the entire video. I might play it for you here. He's smoking, he's having a good time. He doesn't really touch anybody. At some point, one of the ladies come over and gives him a little neck massage, but that was about it. I thought it was relatively tame. And again, when you work for like an ESPN, I'm sure they got all kind of contracts and clauses. Perhaps it violated one of their clauses. Um, and I'm not sure exactly what part it would have been. I'm sure it wasn't the alcohol part, because the NBA as a league partners with people that sell alcohol all the time. Maybe it was the marijuana part. Okay, I can see that. But I mean, if he's in a state in which it's legal, then if it's legal, then what's the problem with that? Again, I don't get it. Maybe that is the problem. Maybe they said, look, we got a morals clause, and even though it's legal, we don't want any of our people, because you're representing ESPN, to be smoking weed in front of the camera. Great. Now, personally, I don't have anything against people that smoke marijuana. You can do what you want to do. I will say 3 letters for you: COPD. That's all I'll say. COPD. Snoop and all these folks, they make marijuana smoking to be the greatest thing in the world. And don't nobody talk about COPD. Not one person. They don't never talk about how, it can have a negative impact in terms of your body. But, we adults, we can do what we want to do. Kamar writes, ESPN is owned by Disney, LOL. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was the morals clause. I'm thinking it can't be the women, because, I mean, that's like one step away from the halftime girls. It's not really a big deal. It can't be the alcohol, so it must have been the marijuana, I guess. So word to the wise. Now, what's funny about that is because it depends on where you're at. Now, if you go over to Showtime has a podcast that's hosted by 2 former players, and they openly talk about it. They be doing it on the show. It's all the smoke. It's all part of their show. But again, that's the difference, I guess, between a Showtime and an ESPN. Because on Showtime, they got a show called All the Smoke. You got 2 former NBA players, and they openly talk about, their love for marijuana. They talk about how they did it when they was players. And I don't think they do it like during the interviews, but, they let it be known. And then they do other videos. I've seen other videos, with Steven Jackson, where he blazing it up. It don't seem to have cost him a job, but there's a difference between hosting your podcast, I guess, with ESPN, and that's how you start. Like, listen, we about that smoke, and we want all the smoke, and this is what we're gonna do. And hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. I had to do something real quick. Appreciate you. So, I mean, I guess that's what it comes down to. I guess it comes down to is that, like, he must have pardon me. He must have It must have been the marijuana. That's what I'm thinking. Because it can't be the girls. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with a grown man, and then you got women in the background. I mean, damn, ease up. He's 40 something years old. Let him live. It couldn't be the alcohol. It must have been that marijuana. And again, I mean, maybe he was ready for him to go. Like if you sign a contract saying you're not going to smoke marijuana on camera while you're working for ESPN, if you decide to do it, then that's what happens. I get it. But as a grown man, and I see these other podcasts where they just so open with it, I mean, Snoop got all kind of advertiser deals and brand deals, and he's a king of smoking marijuana. To this day, he never backed away from it. But I guess it is what it is. Are you interested in seeing a video? The video ain't no big deal. I mean, you see a little bit of twerking. I know people go crazy for twerking, like twerking is the worst thing in the world, and da 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 da. I get it. You know me. I guess I'm just too grown for certain things. Hold on one second. There we go. I guess I'm just too grown for certain things. But some people act like twerking is the worst thing in the world. I mean, I don't give a damn about no goddamn twerking. Twerk you like twerk on, twerk off. Do what you want to do. Do you. I don't see a big problem with it, but I know some people get in their feelings about these sort of things. I want to talk about it. Also, this morning, an Asian restaurant is considering closing amid what appears to be, on the outside looking in, harassment. You see this story? This story was posted yesterday. I live in the Clifton area, so they're not too far from me. I know exactly where they are, I believe. It's called Tea and Bowl. Anybody ever been there before? Tea and Bowl. And they posted a Facebook message. I'm on Facebook right now. When was this? This was yesterday at 6:20 a.m. Complaining about how people are harassing them. So what's happening is people are calling in big orders and then not showing up. They're calling in big orders and then not showing up. And that can be devastating because, man, those call-in orders and all those apps, those delivery apps, man, that's big. That's the life's blood right now. That's the main vein for a lot of these restaurants, because folks haven't been going inside the restaurant the way they used to, with COVID and everything. And it's can you imagine, here you are, you got a big order and you like, oh, we got a big order. Oh, yeah. You do the order, nobody shows up. The food is wasted. So now you wasting your money and your time. It's putting you even further behind than if you didn't get an order at all. It would be better to get no order, because at least you're not wasting your time and your resources, right? And apparently, I watched the video. The owner, she seemed like she was very upset. She said somebody was kicking down. They had a sign outside, one of those little foldable signs. Somebody kicked that down, threw it into their glass. She said a man opened the door and spit on him. She better than me, because if I'm in my store and you open the door and spit on me, you ain't walking down the street, homie. Unless you got something on you, you're gonna get tested that day, right then and there. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. You're gonna catch one that day. We both going to hell. It's what it is. It is what it is. Have y'all seen this? And so I want to talk about what I haven't touched this topic yet, and we should, as Black people, we should touch this. This is a vast majority Black audience. It is what it is. I love it. We haven't even talked about Asian hate. We ain't talked about what's happening, at least in terms of the media and all these reports about Asian people around the country. I haven't seen this brother. Seemed like he was on a train, and he was opening up a can of whoop ass on this Asian dude. And everybody's like, oh, that's an example of Asian harassment. And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, he really whooped that ass. But I don't know what happened. He might have deserved it, for all I know. I don't know what happened. All I know is I saw the video and dude was choking him up, choked him out. Dude was slumped over, choked his ass straight out, slumped him and everything. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But, people are saying that because, and again, it's funny how in a lot of these reports, they don't trace it all the way back to where it came from. A lot of this stuff started because the former president was making jokes about the Wuhan virus. I mean, even our lieutenant governor was making jokes about the Wuhan virus and things like that. And I'm thinking, damn, that's some arrogant ass white male arrogant shit right there. You got the nerve to, what the hell? That is amazing to me. I mean, just looking at our recent history in this country and knowing the way things went down the way they did. Y'all got the nerve to do that? But when I saw the video, I was thinking to myself, that don't seem like no black people. That sounds like some college white boy type shit. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That's what it sounds like to me. Oh yeah, what we gonna do today on a Friday? Let's call the Asian restaurant and order a big order and then not call and not pick it up. Now, who does that sound like? Is that some black man shit or some white man shit? That's some white man shit. You know that. That's some old college boy shit. Run around playing games. Who's got time for that? Like, raise your hand if you got time to pick a restaurant, call the restaurant, order a lot of shit off the menu, and then not pick it up. Who's got time for that? None of us. Nobody. That's some college boy shit right there. I guess this is what passes as humor, I guess, in the college world. But again, like I said, I grew up in the gaming world, so I seen and heard all. I done heard everything. I'm gaming over the years and shit. I'm getting it in. People pick up on your voice. They hear that baritone. They hear that melanin. They're like, wait a minute, you must be black. I've heard it all. It's just amazing how deep racism really is in the hearts and minds of young people, younger Americans. I've had people tell me more times I can remember. Now, this is like in a virtual sitting, like, on a video game. At least I'm not black, as if, what's that mean exactly? So you can be anything in the world, but as long as you're not black, you think you're winning. Fool, please. Fool, please. This sounds right up that alley. Who has got time to do that? Who's got time to do that? Who's sitting around like, you know what? I'm going to F with the Asian restaurant today. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This will be funny. This will be funny, Joe. If there's any Joes out there, no disrespect to you. It is what it is. Apparently, they had like a caller ID, so the owner called them back when they made that big order. And she said that she was told, like, nah, no, I live in Kentucky, not us. I never ordered fruit from you. Plus, we don't even eat dogs. So, making all these kind of comparisons. And, it's a lot of ignorant people in this world. It's a lot of ignorant people in this world. Now, before we start this conversation, because I want to get your thoughts about this, like, do you think this is a real phenomenon? Do you think that black people are involved with this? There's been conversations about, do Asians like black people? Do black people like Asians? I'd like to get your honest thoughts about it this morning. Let's tackle the conversation a little bit, shall we? Using this story as a springboard. You heard about this? I think it's absolutely some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of in my entire life, quite honestly. I hope they find these individuals and prosecute them if, in fact, that's possible. But I ain't doing that. Like, if I own a business, I'm all about the customers and being professional. But when you walk in and spit at me, oh man, I'm gonna spit right back at you. I love that. I'm a big believer in the reflection method. I'm a big believer in it. Whatever you do to me, I can do to you to the nth degree. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you started it. I can do whatever then. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think? What do you think? You've heard about this? Some of that anti-Asian hate. And that's why you hear me use the term non-white sometime, because I'm intelligent enough to know that that's how some people view the world. It's as simple as white and non-white in the minds of some people. It's just how it is. That's just how they view the world. White and non-white. It's the white folks and everybody else. That's just how it is. It is what it is, family. 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear what's on your mind this morning. Good morning to you. What's up to my audio family? What's up to my folks on Spreaker? Good morning to you, Brandy. What's up? Miss D. Rice, greetings. Ray Rice here. Pat Rice, good morning. Sharp Rice, good morning. Nate and the Choppers, good morning, everybody. Let me see if I can find some of that Paul Pierce video for you. I saw the video and I was like, I didn't see, this is just regular to me. This ain't no, but again, I'm not ESPN. And like, did ESPN have to fire him? I mean, ultimately that's their decision, so it's hard to Monday morning quarterback it. But I mean, that's the nature of talk radio. So let's go ahead and give it a try, right? I say no, because like I said, I mean, you got other podcasts with former shows, and again, that's all the smoke podcast is hella popular. They might be doing more numbers than some of these ESPN shows by far. The other thing is that when you're working for other people, man, you gotta be smart, homie. You can't be out here doing no dumb ish like this, Paul. Now you know his wife gonna be pissed as hell. Like, wait. We good, because we got that NBA money we piled up. But you just lost this income stream because you want to play games. Y'all ready for this? Now, I don't remember there being anything in here that's so offensive. But you know how some people are. So you might see a little jiggle here and a little jiggle there. Just to give you a little heads up about it. I know some people are anti-jiggle. I'm pro-jiggle. Okay? So if you anti-jiggle, pull yourself together. Embrace for the impact. I'm about to hit play.
Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? God? Oh my God. Yeah, we popping.
Yo, you trying to hit the man to the show. Quarter now. Quarter. All right, play 25 now. 25.
And now like a Friday night, dog. We get a neck massage, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Paul, can I get that invite? Hey, yo, Paul, can I get that invite? Paul Pierce is a sicko. That's a tweet from Kyle Kuzma at the top.
What you do? What's the Paul?
Monica, you should be here. You could make some money, girl. Stop playing.
Now,
Monica,
what is Paul
Pierce
doing that's so wrong?
Guys, throw some fucking chips, man.
If you in LA, come through.
Look down.
If you in LA, Monica, come through. You know what I'm saying?
Where's she at? Saying fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars can't even throw a fucking chip.
Wait up. I can't.
You said, oh my God, that means that he's surprised by this. He doesn't necessarily condone this. These things are happening outside of his control. Yeah, that's some of the volume went down there. And so let me
give it to us. Hey, I'm turned. Where y'all at tonight? Hey.
Somebody's making some money.
Hey, is she hot?
I mean, so the video pretty much, and again, the video's like that particular clip is like 4 minutes long. It's several videos, but I mean, that's just pretty much as bad, if you want to call it bad, as it gets. And to me, it just seems like men being men. I don't see no problem. You playing poker, you drinking, you got somebody's clapping in the background. Nobody's being forced. Nobody's being assaulted. Nobody's being raped. Nobody's crying me too. You know, you get ladies making a little bit of money with a former NBA great. He's probably got millions in the bank. You know what I'm saying? You get some of that stimulus package, playing poker with the fellas. He ain't touching nobody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man, listen, let me see if I got this here. So I want to know, is it just my male brain? Because I can totally be in my male brain. I want to know what you think about it. And then who in the hell, let me see this. Man, I got a screenshot. Somebody asked him, and it looked like it was a dude. Somebody on Instagram asked Paul Pierce doing his Instagram live stream when this all took place, asked him a question about his wife and kids. What kind of grown man asks another man about his wife and kids in a moment like that? You breaking the code. What kind of fucking question is that? Dumbass question. What about your wife and kids? What you think your wife and kids? Number one, that's grown people shit. Who gives a damn what the kids think? The kids need to go to school. You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of your damn business, period. And clearly him and his wife worked it all out. He wouldn't be doing it and being so. She ain't detect no problems with it. So I don't see what the problem is, man. But again, that's just when you're working for ESPN or owned by Disney, parent company, bunch of fucking hypocrites, then you gotta roll with the punches. You know, if you sign a morals clause that's open to some kind of interpretation like that, then that's what it is. But I've seen far worse. I've seen far worse. We just had a call. I was coming straight to you. Call me back and I'll put you on at 513-873-7134. Now, that is a free number anywhere in the world. I'm sorry, anywhere in the country and in some places in the world. Okay. And in some places in the world, you can give us a call this morning. All right. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Good morning to you. And is it just my male brain? Because I'm 100% in my male brain all the time. Okay. I keep telling folks, don't get it twisted. I am a man. And don't ever forget that. And loves it. Don't want to be nothing else. Loves it. Enjoying every minute of it. But you know, at the same time, I understand there's standards and things like that. But when I watched that video back, I watched it several times. I'm like, okay, this is just men being men. What's the problem? Get out the way.
Hey.
Cheers, boys.
Hey.
I'm not married. What you mean cheating on my wife, dog? You tripping. Why would I even do all this?
Man, and look, and what kind of man
So the
asks
Asian
another
Miami,
man a
Asian
question
girl.
like that at a time like this? What kind of fucking where are they making these men? Kind of man ask you see this man having a good time on this Instagram, you gonna talk about some shit like that? What is wrong with you? Whoever posted that, we need to track him down, the man police, and revoke his man card for something like that. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. It reminds me of something. I remember I was at an event many years ago. I've told this story before. I tell it again because it fits. I'm at an event many years ago right here in Cincinnati. And this black man came up to me. I'm on the air, like we doing a community event. This black man came up to me and asked me where my ring was. I didn't have my ring on, right? Because, you know, a lot of married men wear a physical ring. And this is a black man. I looked at him like he had lost his damn mind. This fool, if you don't get your ass away from me, asking me no dumb shit like that. Where's your ring? What? If you don't get your ass away from me, that's pretty much was my attitude. Men don't ask other men those kind of questions. Mind your, it's where the fuck I left it. That's where it is. Don't worry about it. Same thing with Paul Pierce. That's between him and his wife. Don't fucking worry about it. That's what the answer is. That's where the kids are. Wherever the hell they are. What about your wife and kids? What the hell? What is wrong with this world? What is wrong with this world? What is wrong with these men in this world? Mind your business. Mind your damn business. We got an early call. Let's take it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, how you doing, Nathan?
Hey, what's going on? Hacksaw? Or is it Safe from the Projects? Who we talking to today?
It's early in the week. It's Fang.
Fang. Okay, what's up, Fang? Good morning to you, brother.
I'm pleasant. I can't believe you're actually. Are you trying to just egg people on about this Paul Pierce thing? Yeah, because I mean, as a ball player, you know, there's kids involved. You know, kids are looking up to you. That's just a bad look to be doing. You know, on live on social media, even though it's legal, nobody, like you said, nobody's being forced. It's just a bad look. You know, nobody needs to see all that. Even if he was 25 and in his prime still, I mean, but what makes it worse is he's 40 something years old. So he's like 42, 43. And it's like, dude, you should know better. I mean, basically just, when I saw it, I was thinking like, does he not still work for ESPN? You know, when I saw it Friday or, you know, heard about it, I was like, well, he must not work for ESPN anymore. That was the first thing I thought. Why would he do that?
Me too, actually.
But let's be honest, it didn't hurt him because, I mean, I don't know what time it happened, but when ESPN, let's say ESPN let out the release at 2:00 saying that we parted ways with Paul Pierce, by 2:45, he was working for Barstool, who would actually welcome that behavior.
Yeah.
That type of thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's just for ESPN, Disney, you know, I mean, ABC, that's just, you know, you work for that conglomerate, you just kind of got to behave a little different and be mindful of things. doing that for him. I mean, that would be like a doctor riding around with, with a bag of weed. There's certain things you can't do, when you get certain jobs. But yeah, that was all I got. I'm just like kind of, getting a little disgusted listening to you monologue. Like, is he serious?
Oh, dead serious.
Like, I mean, the one woman's over his left shoulder jiggling. I'm like, oh wow, like that. It's
over
like,
his
okay,
left
that was
shoulder.
done intentionally.
There's nothing wrong with a woman being over his left shoulder jiggling. The right there is on the screen. There's nothing wrong with that. He ain't doing nothing wrong.
When she intentionally does it, and you work for a media conglomerate, it's not nothing wrong with it. It's just unsavory behavior.
What's unsavory exactly? I want to make sure I understand. So what do you think is it the fact that women are there, he's drinking, or he's smoking? Or is it all
the whole episode? It's like the gentleman's club atmosphere you got there. There's a reason why, gentlemen's clubs are over 21 and densely lit. Not very well lit. You know what I mean? There's a reason for that. And for him to be behaving like that on social media, I don't know. But there's obviously a reason. But for him to be behaving like that on social media where a 10-year-old could see it, it's just not a good look. That's all. He probably wanted out anyway. He was kind of a hater as an announcer. He's that old, surly, angry Steve Harvey hater of younger people. I thought Draymond did him perfect. He was like, man, you trying to get that Kobe love. They don't love you like that. He was dead right. When he did the retirement tour, Paul Pierce tried to play, probably hung on 3 more years than he should have, trying to get a retirement tour. Like Draymond said, like, they don't love you like that. And, he's just, I don't know. That's just not a good look. That's all I got. But, hey, I got a question for you. Did the Reds win?
I don't know.
Exactly. Like 99% of black men around Cincinnati. Yeah, they won, but, just proving my point. That's all I got, B.
What's your point again?
That you Negroes don't like baseball because you never learned how to throw a curveball.
I got you, but you're wrong. I got you. I don't dislike baseball. It's just that generally speaking, baseball is boring. I don't dislike it. Going to the game itself is a gang of five. It's a gang of fun, especially in them private suites. Oh man, it's gonna be pampered for you. You're gonna love it. But the game itself is boring as fuck to watch. They need to mix in some dunking or some touchdowns or somehow. Then it'll be a lot more fun. It is what it is. And I'm probably better than you in baseball right now. You always talking all this shit, man. Let me get you out there on that diamond. Hit you with a curveball you won't even see coming, bro. He always fronting. So he says it was generally unsavory behavior, huh? So is it unsavory to drink? No, I don't think anybody's going to say it's unsavory to drink. I think the only issue is the women and the marijuana. So let's deal with the easier one, the marijuana. If he's in a state in which it's legal, then there's no problem with him smoking on camera. None whatsoever, because it's legal. Like, name for me something that's legal for you to do. And I can answer my own question, but it's legal. So if he's in a state in which it's legal, then it's legal. Period. He mentioned Instagram, 10-year-olds being on Instagram. Why is a 10-year-old on Instagram? My daughter's 15. She ain't allowed to be on Instagram. What's she gonna be on Instagram for? I told my daughter, you want to get on Instagram? Then start a business and then use Instagram to sell your business. That's her charge. You want to get on Instagram? Sure, you can get on Instagram. What's the business, sis? She's still struggling with that. We're working on it right now. She don't need to be on Instagram. So if you're a parent and you let your kid get on Instagram unsupervised, then you get what you get. You're gonna get everything. Or is it the women? Well, I mean, I don't. Okay, so women are in the background dancing. Okay, and he's not doing anything with them. I don't see what the problem is. I really don't. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
What's up, comrade? Black Russia.
What's happening?
What's up?
Hey, Paul Pierce, the truth. They don't call the truth for nothing.
And Disney, and basically ESPN's on my Disney. You know, Disney's not having that. They're family friendly. So even if he wasn't doing nothing, it's overblown to me. You know, he a grown man enjoying adult entertainment on his Instagram, but you know how it goes. You know, ESPN and Disney and all them folks want a clean, wholesome guy, although all the, you know, men who engage in that behavior watch ESPN. Imagine the hypocrisy in that, right?
Right.
But, you know, it's one of those. Hey, I just got finished voting. How about that?
That's right. Early voting. Did you?
It started today. Starts today. Go vote, y'all.
Do you want to tell us who you voted for mayor?
Yeah. I'll tell you. I hit the box with Cecil Thomas.
Okay.
I just thought he was the right guy for the right situation, right at this moment in time. Okay. And if anything, people can't say they get on Cecil Thomas in the street. So, hey, you know, I don't always agree with them, but I'll vote for somebody who's accessible or at least will give you an ear. I can do that. You ain't got to agree with me, but if I can get a hold of you and talk to you and get my 2 cents across and you give me thoughtful engagement, I can see what you'll do. So, okay. Yeah, I did that. I voted no on all the issues, 1, 2, and 3. And pretty short ballot this time around.
Okay. I'm glad that you got out there and voted, man. They're saying there's not a lot of enthusiasm with this election.
Yeah, you know, I saw that article about Jason Williams. It really isn't. I mean, the hardcore people like me, we love this shit, so we're going to be out here. But in terms of, like, the general overall interest, nah, it ain't there. And I can understand why it's not there. These candidates, all 6 of them, I'm going to say it like this, none of them are exciting. They're all kind of mad. You know, people were looking for PG and Bitterville looking for the Holy War. It didn't happen. And now we got NAD. So we got to vote for NAD. So, you know, pick your poison this time around. But I chose my poison to be the black man who's seasoned, who's from Cincinnati public schools, you know, who's been elected multiple times municipally in his state elections. I'm going with that guy. It just makes sense to me as a black man.
And how did you vote on the 2 other charter amendments to change how city council members are replaced?
Hey, I voted no on all that shit.
Okay.
I voted no. And here's the thing why. We already have a mechanism statewide, and we saw it work with PG and Jeff as to how the suspension is supposed to go down. You know, people are still innocent until proven guilty in the court of law in this country. Therefore, to give, you know, council the ability to suspend people and all this, that's bullshit to me. I'm just like, yo, we got the state mechanism. Y'all trying to create rules that just really don't impact nothing because y'all want to have stuff to run on this coming November. I'm cool on that. We don't need council to suspend their own members if they're charged with a felony. We got the state to do that. You know, the other issue was something along the lines of, I forget what the other issue is. It was pre-conviction suspension and, the designee. So, like, there's an issue on there that says, if you want to change your designee as a city council member, if you're convicted, you're not allowed to do that. Well, I mean, again, who cares? I don't care about that. Like, the affordable housing thing, I hear hell no on that. I put hell for the no. I voted no because I just believe that we elect the politicians to make the decisions about the budget. Period. We don't need an issue on the ballot to divert $50 million into affordable housing out the gate. The city starts at a deficit out the gate. That's just not smart policy. To me, we elect people to make these decisions. We don't need to put issues on the ballot to say, all right, we're going to just hard, fast rule, $50 million go to affordable housing. That's not good policy. Not good public policy at all. So that was no for me on that one. The other 2 issues, 1 and 2, was just copying of the state law. And I'm just like, nah, I'm cool.
All right, brother. Appreciate you sharing that information with us.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, everybody go vote, y'all. The election, I think 2017 off year, it was like 30%, I think, that November. The mayoral primary is like 20, 25. Y'all can impact the race if y'all get out here and vote.
Appreciate the call, man.
Have a good morning, for sure.
It's Black Russia letting us know who he voted for. He said he voted for Cecil. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I agree with what I'm hearing with everybody else. I think all the candidates are viable because you're in the race, but it seems to me that from what I'm just seeing, that it's Aftab and Cecil. That's what I keep hearing over and over again. And then I got some information within the last 24 hours. Someone told me that it appears that a lot of Republican voters are getting behind David Mann, which, by the way, I'm hoping to get an interview with David Mann this week. If not this week, then early next week, and we can talk about why he's running and talk about his campaign. I'll let you know when that happens, okay? All right, looking forward to it. But what do you think? Well, I mean, I hear what he was saying about issue 3, but my question is so who's got a better idea? Got to do something about the affordable housing issue in this city. We know it's a real big issue. Where's the ideas? Where's the bold ideas? Let's move forward. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, the Black Knot Democrat, Drop Squad 52, calling in from the left coast, the People's Republic of California. And yes, there is a border crisis. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Mr. Ivy, do you remember when the NBA season first started and James Harden was a Houston Rocket?
Yeah.
And he showed up. Yeah, you remember? And he showed up all fat. Russell Westbrook had left, and James Harden wanted out of Houston, and he wanted to go to New Jersey. And everybody was saying, no way, Houston's not going to do it. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing these videos of James Harden at the baby's party, James Harden at the strip club, James Harden supposed to be in all these different places. I mean, he's supposed to be at NBA training camp and all this stuff, but he's at all these different places. And then lo and behold, a couple of days later, James Harden gets traded to the New Jersey Nets. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Ivy, the reason I say that, this whole Paul Pierce thing, Instagram with the booty shaking and the bud smoking and the blunt passing, it was all set up and staged, Mr. Ivy. Paul Pierce needed to get out of his ESPN contract. And this was the way to do it. Paul Pierce is a very intelligent black man. He knows exactly the history of ESPN and their corporate office. So Paul Pierce, because he's seen the success of other black people away from the typical corporate network sports shows. And you brought up one of the shows I think that show comes from Showtime. You know, the one with Matt Barnes and
yeah.
I think that
it's a Showtime.
Yeah, that's
podcast.
Showtime. So I posted this in the Facebook, in the YouTube chat. It says Paul Pierce, the MVP of the 2008 NBA Finals with the Boston Celtics, addressed his future on Twitter, posting, quote, "Big things coming soon. Stay tuned. Make sure you smile. Truth shall set you free." So apparently, Fane Rothstein, he kind of saw it the same way. Oh, and shout out to the Alt Middle and all their affiliates. So that's my take, Mr. Ivy, because Paul Pierce, he's not an idiot. I mean, come on. And you said it yourself. These type of parties go on across the country with NBA and professional athletes all the time. So that's my take. And before I go, I would like to recommend a book that's out on the market right now. It's called Beautiful Things, a memoir of a crackhead, Hunter Biden. Go pick it up. Drop Squad 52. Dropping science.
Is that the title?
To anyone who wants to catch it, Black Knight Democrat.
Is that really the title? What the hell? Hunter. This man is propaganda. Ugly Truths in Hunter Biden's book, Beautiful Things. Is it called The Memoir of a Crackhead, though? Is that the subtitle? So I get it. The title of the book is Beautiful Things. No, man, you just added that. It's called Beautiful Things, a memoir, not a memoir of a crackhead. This man never miss an opportunity to throw some shit on the Democrats, all for the purposes of a party that's actively engaged in trying to disenfranchise your own people. I'll never understand that, man, but it is what it is. We are where we are. Dude is nuts, yo. Dude is nuts. What is wrong with him? Memoir of a crackhead. Let me go to your chat this morning. Pat's in the chat. She writes good morning. Andrielle writes good morning. Crystal writes good morning. Naisha writes good morning. Jason writes morning crew. Sean writes good morning, brother Nate and the Choppers. I need my CCW, brother Nate. Okay. Well, again, I haven't spoke directly with Brother Forte about it, but we'll set it up again and get out there. I'll come out to. I've already got my CCW, but I'll come out and just be with the class, and then we can go farther than that and get out there on that range and do some tactical type shit. Anthony writes, "Morning Choppers." Jerome writes, "Good morning, Nate and the Choppers." We just heard from Drop. He wrote some time ago, back in the 7 a.m. hour. Good morning, Choppers. But what's in your wallet? Economic freedom equals economic independence. Hashtag BND. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate the Choppers. Kamara writes, good morning. Laura writes, if you're in Cincinnati, arm the populace CCW class. That's where I got mine. Yeah, I've heard about them. Yeah, I love that. Arm the populace. I love the way that sounds. Tiff writes, good morning, all. I think it's some young brothers doing it, man. I wish them the best. Charles writes, awkward would be the perfect way to describe Paul Pierce's game. He wasn't athletic. His moves were awkward but effective. He was athletic to me, and I played against dudes like that just had a weird game. Like, they were faster than what they seemed. Their body just seemed to move in just the weirdest, oddest kind of ways, but they was hooping, though. They was getting buckets. Played against a lot of dudes like that, man. They just had a weird game. And it's like, how the hell he get to the laying it up every time? Like, Paul Pierce was like that. I used to call it herky jerky, but that's probably not the most descriptive way of putting it. But he was effective Hall of Famer, not on D Wade's level. Nat writes, good morning, Facebook Choppers. Michael writes, that fool wanted to get fired. You think so? Okay, you might be on to something there. This is just another case of white people, and ESPN is tripping. white peopling. Dan writes, morning, friends. Good to see you, Dan. Politically Petty Podcast is in the house. They writes, morning, Nate and Choppers. Flows ready E for everybody. Paul Pierce messed up, but shouting out a colleague as part of his Get Lit party. He had a Get Lit party, huh? Oh, yeah, had a good time. They had a good time. To me, that's tame. I'm like, oh, what's the big deal? You know, that's like, I don't see no big infractions there. Now, the weed smoking, I can see that. But you telling me you can't be at your house and invite some ladies over that like to dance for money, and they dancing in the background and they're not even really touching you, not really interacting with them at all? That seems to be some old anti-man type shit to me. I'm feeling like this is some anti-man shit. Never heard of marijuana killing anyone. Marijuana, it will kill you. You can get COPD. You doing all kind of things to your arteries. And then if you got that street marijuana, ain't no telling what kind of impurities are in it. You're doing all kinds of things to your cardiovascular system, your health, your heart. You're putting all that at risk every time you smoke. I'm not telling you not to smoke. Do you? But don't act like, oh, it's from the earth. There's no negative impact whatsoever. That is a damn lie. It's a damn lie. Anytime you smoke anything into your lungs, you're doing damage. I don't care what it is. Now, do you, though? I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm pro, if you want to get your weed on, get your weed on. I'm just telling you. Let's not act like, oh, it's no big deal. It doesn't kill people. It put people in the hospital all the time. Then a lot of these people got symptoms. They related to other things. It's because they've been smoking for 20 years. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. And then on top of the smoke, that people go out and get these wraps. They get these wraps that's got all kind of chemicals. Now you smoking the weed and the chemicals in the wrap. So stop it, please. Please. Let's not act like it. Two things can be true at the same time. People like to do it, and it's legal in a lot of states. And okay, go ahead and get your fun in with your weed smoking. And at the same time, it can have a negative impact on your health. Don't get it twisted. Hey, FP's in the house. She writes, he represents an entity that focuses on collegiate and professional sports, which is an anti-doping environment. Anti-doping environment. Okay. So I hear what you're saying, and I'm with you. So we must just come down to the marijuana, because there's nothing wrong with drinking. Like if you could only do if I had to tell you, so which is worse for you, alcohol or marijuana? Alcohol all day long. Alcohol in terms of the human cost, the overall cost of it is far more dangerous, far more lethal, far more harmful than marijuana. Every day, all day. And alcohol is legal all across the country. Marijuana is becoming more and more legal, right? It just goes to show me how we focus on the wrong things. And then Paul Pierce will go over to Barstool Sports, if in fact that's where he goes. I know why people are saying that is because Barstool Sports, if you don't know, and again, y'all might not know about, but this is what I do, so I understand the impact of these media companies. Barstool Sports is one of the biggest media companies on the internet right now. You know, if there was, and there is, a big list that's put out on a monthly basis of all of the media companies and their traffic, Barstool Sports is in the top 15. That's huge. That's not a small, I don't even know that's like a lateral movement. If he goes from ESPN to Barstool Sports, that's a lateral movement in terms of his access to a captive audience. So if he goes over there, he ain't losing nothing. And a lot of those people that was on ESPN that liked him will probably follow him over there. So it'll be ESPN's loss. But I get it, though. Samantha writes, good morning, all. Michael writes, they rolling up. Matt Barnes. Right, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, they damn near be rolling up on the podcast. You know, but again, that's Showtime. So maybe Showtime's got a different vibe and a different company culture than ESPN, but it is what it is. Jerica writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. I remember when she called in a few days ago and tried to give me the business. That's Jerica right there. What's up with you, Jerica? She love to keep me on my toes. Yo writes, he's definitely high as hell. He might be. Brent writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers, checking in from Dallas, Texas. Hey, good to see you, Brent. Welcome. Ashley's in the house. She writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Brent writes, you might be right, Nate. Twerk whenever and wherever you want. Twerk at the deli counter, twerk at the doctor's office, twerk at church because you're grown. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's black people. That's that man. That, not saying you, Brent, but some people that get all in their feelings about black women twerking, on some levels, loathe black people. It's like a self-loathing kind of thing. That's just my theory. I could be wrong. Jerica writes, did anybody watch Ricky Smiley's 40-minute live? If you haven't seen it, find it and watch it. What did we miss? I didn't see it. What did we miss, Jerica? Yeah, TM Bowl is a no-go. False advertising, overpriced, and they're right next to the Thai Express. They probably should have closed. Damn, Nat. Overpriced, false advertising? What's the false advertising? Maurice writes, bet they were white. You talking about the people that harassed and spit on the store owner, the Asian store owner of, what is it called? TM Bowl? Yeah, that's my thoughts. That's not a black man thing. Black folks, I'm not saying that's beyond us, but that don't sound like us. Spitting at people? Because that's a no-no right there for black people. Like, even black people that's relatively docile, you do something like that, you're gonna see the lion come out real quick. Roy writes, good morning. Maurice writes, glorious resurrection. A classy one writes, I hate that minorities play oppression Olympics. Huh. So is that how you take this? You think this is oppression Olympics? Cincinnati Asian restaurant considers closing amid disturbing calls and harassment. I blame the former president, but that's neither here nor there. It is what it is now. I'm reading that you got some folks around the city and around the state that are trying to do something about this. And we'll have to wait and see what that looks like. Other Asian business owners on the block like King Wok, Thai Express, and Mackay Express all say they haven't had any incidents like this occur or harassment. So why is it happening at this? Okay. So if you got all these Asian-owned restaurants that's in a cluster together, why are they the only ones that's being harassed? What is more to this story? There must be more to this story. There must be more to this story then. My spider sense is going off. What's up here? Kamika writes, it's not good. I was planning to support. Charles writes, all these Asian attacks aren't necessarily attacks. Asians have a racist history regarding blacks in this country. Hurry up and buy wasn't just a line from a movie. That's one thing that's very, very apparent to me, that the relationship between blacks and Asians in America is very complex. Generally speaking, it's complex. There was just a sister that was at a hair store in Norwood here in Cincinnati, and she was telling people on a live stream not to go there because she felt like it was some racism going on. And then when I brought it up, everybody said the same thing. Like, why are you there? We already know this about that establishment. Why keep going back? Jerica writes, I don't believe this black Asian hate is real. Why now would black people jump on Asians? I've seen some videos of what appear to be black people getting into physical altercations with Asians. So we can't act like it hasn't happened. But generally speaking, how do black people have a problem with Asians? I mean, just going to put it on the board. Do you have a problem with Asians? If so, what is your problem? What is it? Do you feel like Asians are here for us? Are they allies in our struggle, in our future, right? In our hopes and dreams? Are they allies? Are they opponents? Are they enemies? I'd like to know. I want to get your honest thoughts. This is an honest zone. Nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are expected to be men. Okay, and sucker MCs get dealt with. Keep it 100 with me this morning. Stop with the oppression Olympics. We all in the same boat. Tiff writes, I've never had tea and bowl, but I love Thai Express and they have good customer service. Racists aren't just white people, and victims of racism aren't always black. Now, she's right about that. Now, you can't tell some black folks that anybody else has been oppressed in this world. I've made this point for years. I'll make it again. We do not have a monopoly. We do not own Boardwalk and Park Place when it comes to being oppressed in this country, although a lot of black people think that we do. Nobody's oppression is like our oppression. No child is born racist, but taught racism. I agree. Irish writes, good morning, great people. Charles writes, right, Nate, I'm going to give you what you give me. Joe writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Renee writes, T and Bowl, I was around when I went to UC. Very nice people. So she said nice things about them. Black people love all ethnic groups, but these ethnic groups did not like black people. Anthony writes, I'd rather be punched in the face before getting spit on. I don't want either one of them. I mean, I can't even get into comparing. They're both a problem. Maurice writes, a video where young Asians said they love us, but the older ones admitted their racism. Really? Send me a link. I want to check it out. He was baked in the video. You talking about Paul Pierce? He might have been. In the day of woke cats need to be on their P's and Q's. Clifford writes, Paul is a hater. Maurice writes, you crazy for that, man. Get an invite. Yeah, send me an invite, Paul. You having all this fun. Shit, spread the love. Iris writes, why is he on social media? Well, it turned out not to be a good deal. It's a bad decision. Nate, some man stuff need to be done in private. You know that. I agree with you. I'm not one to put everything on Instagram the way some people got to run to social media for validation. I don't need social media for validation for me. I don't have to put shit on social media outside what I'm doing, platform and show rise. That's not really me. Some people looking for validation by posting stuff and then they get the response, oh yeah, I feel good today. I don't need all of that. So I agree with you. If it was me, I wouldn't. If I was having a party like that, and I'm not telling you I don't smoke and drink, but I'm not telling you I'm above that. Shit, don't get it twisted about your boy Nate. I keep telling you, don't get it twisted. I'm not above none of that, although I don't smoke and drink. But girls dancing in the background, we playing poker, other people doing what they do. See, no problem. I wouldn't post it though, just because it had nothing to do with the job per se. I just don't post shit like that. So I agree with you. Why is he on social media? Some say he wanted to lose his job. I guess he did. Instead of catching COVID-19, they want to catch an STD. And where would a mask at, Paul Pierce? Ain't no mask over here, man. I don't see no masks. Do you see anybody wearing a mask? Let me know when you see somebody with a mask. I see a baseball hat. I see some thongs. I see a two-piece. But where's the mask at? Did she wash her hands before she put his hand? Her brother, I don't see no mask. 1, 2 people. She's not wearing a mask. She's not wearing a mask. Oh, it must be on fire. She got to flame. She got to flame it off. Okay, I get it. Do you? Do you, Paul? I guess if you got to go out, you go out with style. So I give that. I write, what's gambling, twerking, drinking, smoking? It's all good. But why do you have to go live? Exactly. That was his mistake. How can they prove it was marijuana? Another one that, how can they prove it was marijuana? You're right. They can't. You can tell them I rolled up some it was a cigarette. You know, when you go to your, wherever people buy that stuff, man, I guess they sell them at like these little drive-thrus and then some of these little gas stations. When you go in there and you look behind the counter, that whole thing back there is dedicated to smoking and nicotine freaks and the people that do chew and all that kind of shit. Ain't nothing in the store good for you. From the sugary drinks, from the high fructose corn syrup in the chips, to the nicotine products. And they sell those products on the surface like, well, yeah, people are going to use this to roll up cigarettes. Ain't nobody. That's a blunt, man. That's a shell for a blunt. Those are rolling papers. Nobody rolling no damn cigarettes. What the fuck is this, prison? They rolling that for marijuana. But, they can do that. It is what it is. He was just having a good time on his day off work, Nate. Sad that you can't enjoy yourself on your day off. I'm with you. It's a damn shame. A black man can't. I'm gonna bring the black man into it, right? I'm gonna drag the black man into it. It's a damn shame that a black man can enjoy his day off at his own house with about 20 of his closest friends. Why did his wife? What did his wife think about it? Question mark. That's my question. I mean, the party was legit to me. See, Maurice, that's the wrong question. Now you're talking about that. We don't need to know what his wife think about it. We're gonna assume she's cool with it. That's why he did it. A married man is not going to do something like that unless his wife is okay with it. Because that's the number one issue he got to deal with. Fuck ESPN. That's outside the house. He got to deal with her every day. So she was down with it, or he wouldn't have did it. The wife and kids question was from a Scent man. Thank you. No real man asks another man no damn question like that at a time like that. What about your wife and kids? What about my wife and kids? You don't get your ass the fuck away from me, man. Quick. Grown people don't go live. She got a point. Maurice writes, Nathan, you are in your male brain right now. They were waiting to fire him. He gave them a reason. Okay, could be. JD writes, Nat, exactly. Plus, it's legal in Cali. Anthony writes, we didn't see the video of the bedroom, Nate. LOL. Well, if we didn't see it, it didn't happen. Politically Petty Podcast writes, if Paul Pierce didn't film this video, would he still have a job at ESPN? It was stupid, period. He messed up the church money to be stupid. He messed up the church money, huh? I don't know. It's so wild, family, that somebody said just earlier that they think that he did it on purpose because he wanted to make a move. It could have been. I mean, you never know. Lisa writes, part of the problem is folks have to be seen. Some things need to be committed to memory, and that's it. I agree. Brian writes, one part of the video, Paul Pierce said, fuck ESPN. They might fire me for this. That might have got him fired. Well, listen, I'll be honest with you. If I'm Paul Pierce and I got millions of dollars in the bank, I don't want to be fired, but it ain't really going to change shit. So, do what you going to do. You know what I'm saying? So I can get that attitude. Iris writes, probably was his brother-in-law asking that question. Even for a brother-in-law. They want to rid themselves of his hating ass. He gave them a reason. Why y'all keep saying he's hating? Why you keep saying he's hating? Rob writes, that's grown man-ish. It's just corny to go live on social media. I agree with you. Kamal writes, no black women? I didn't even notice that, sis. Really? There's no black women? I guess they was busy that night. You're right about that. Sean writes, as a married man, I do not always wear my ring. That is a lame question from another man. There is no law stating you have to always wear your ring. That's like some female-ish. I would expect that from a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I would check a woman about that. Like, mind your own goddamn business, right? A man? I just lose total respect for you on sight. As soon as the words leave your mouth, I'm like, sent. The fuck wrong with you? This really happened. It blew my mind. I mean, it happened years ago. I'm like, really? And it was other people around too. I was live on the air. I'm like, what? You ain't got your ring on. Like, motherfucker, put your ring on. Don't worry about my ring. You know what I'm saying? We cool over here. Crystal writes, I'm pleasant, LMAO. Don writes, a bad look for who? Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. Good morning to you. Hold on, let me give you some news you can actually use this morning, because yesterday, CPS board, let's talk about Cincinnati Public Schools just a little bit real quick. This is very, very important. They adopted a resolution to offer in-person, remote, and blended learning in 21-22 school year. And CPS will offer 5-day in-person, remote, and blended learning in the 2021-2022 school year, according to a resolution the board passed unanimously Monday night. The resolution states the community has demanded robust and authentic choices, quoted from Superintendent Laura Mitchell. Offering all three choices has been extremely difficult. She said the district has tried to offer choice this school year in a way which is ultimately not equitable. So wait a minute, let me stop right there. She said the district has tried to offer choice this school year in a way which is ultimately not equitable. So let me stop right there. I want to make a point I've been making on this issue again. And I do this sometime. I might hit the same point a billion times, but it's my prerogative, right? I can do what I want to do, right? This goes back to a point I've made before, and I've even posted this recently. A lot of people still resist this, but I want to say it again because it's true. And today is the first day of the next grade for Walnut Hills, and they're going to be going back to 5-day in-person remote learning. I want to say this again. I want to be on record for this. The safest and the most equitable plan was to remain virtual for everybody. That was simultaneously the safest and the most equitable. We just watched the Cincinnati School Board allow themselves to be influenced away from what was best across the board for everybody. Any other decision is less safe and less equitable, period. And it keeps coming up over and over and over again. I talked to at least one school board member, because the other school board members don't want to talk to me anymore. They're in their feelings about the way that I conducted my interview and the conversation that we had. And that's okay. But because I stand by what I fucking said, and I do it all the same way. In fact, I do it 2 times harder. The next time I'm doing it even harder. You know what I'm saying? Because what I haven't done is went back and get all those videos when they came on, because what I could have did and still could do. I can get all those videos because it's my property and just flood Facebook with them, with all the goofiest moments from every one of the school board members. That's the next level. I mean, we could just make sure that people don't forget the dumb shit. But we just watched these 7 people, and it was a majority of them, 4 of them, that voted against over and over again to move away from the safest and the most equitable option, which is virtual. And I don't care what nobody says. That is the truth. That is the truth. Anything less than that in this particular time is less safe and less equitable. And what do I mean by less safe? Well, I mean less safe in terms of, quote, COVID and all the different variants. Now I'm reading about this double mutant variant that's coming, that's super rare. And then some of the different variants of COVID are popping up here in Ohio. When the kids are at home and not at school, it removes just one more place for them to pick up COVID. Period. Nobody, and I even had to check a couple school board members that tried to pull an intellectual fast one, but we don't go for all that over here, and try to tell us that it's safer for kids to be in school than to be at home. Okay, they tried to argue that on the low, like they tried to slide that in. That anybody arguing that they think that you're dumb. They think that you're dumb. When I say it was the most equitable, I mean in terms of the most equitable in terms of access to your teacher. Like my tune don't change because I think about things before I say them and I mean what I say. And I posted this maybe last week and people was going back and forth. It's not true because some kids don't learn the same. That's your problem. I'm talking about access to the teacher. And in a moment of crisis where you got to go away from plan A, that's what everybody really cares about, access to the teacher. There's some kids that learn better remotely than they do in person, right? And it is what it is. But access to that teacher in terms of everybody having the same access is what we're trying to achieve. And we had that. And you have 4 members of the board that voted against that. I don't care what happens. It could be all no problems whatsoever. I'm hearing that Walnut Hills has had over a dozen cases. It wasn't just one. The number might even be into the 20s at this point, if not higher. And these are students that probably had COVID and are now bringing COVID back to the school. And that was part of the reason. People try to play these little games like they didn't get it in the school. Will you stop? Will you stop this intellectual dishonesty, please? Because you're dealing with really smart, intelligent people. Okay. And now even Laura Mitchell, the superintendent, has admitted that what they've offered to this point was not equitable. So all those people out there telling me I'm wrong, how could I be wrong? You got at least one school board member, Mike Morosky, and you got the superintendent saying it as well. That what they were offering was not equitable, which means that what they're offering now is not equitable, right? They're saying that we're going to get to a more equitable solution next year, which I think will be great. So I want to make sure we understand where we are. Okay. I want to make sure we understand that. In this article, every time, I'm gonna be honest with you, am I wrong in this? But every time I see Melanie Bates' name, I feel like, why is she on school board? Melanie Bates has no shame. Melanie Bates has no class. If she had any class, she would have removed herself from the school board and let somebody that truly cares about the kids and truly cares about the parents. She's only in that position. I would tell her face to face. Like if she was sitting right next to me, I would say it to her. You already know that. So if you're a friend of Melanie Bates, I mean what I say. I'm not just saying this. She should have, if she had any dignity in class, she would have removed herself. But you can tell that, I guess, being a school board member means something to her in her life, right? Like, for her personal, maybe it makes her feel like she's a somebody or something like that. But we already know how she feels about Walnut Hills parents. We already know how she feels about your grandparents and the kid. We already know. She told us in a very candid moment. And nothing is going to erase that in my mind. Nothing. Zero whatsoever. So every time I read her name, I'm like, why is she still there? But everybody talking about we need to be removing people from city council. What we need to figure out, and I do agree with Ben Lindy on this, is we, the public, need to have a better understanding on how we can remove school board members. What is that process? Because this whole thing with COVID has revealed a huge lack of judgment and a lack of leadership from the school board. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all already know. So, but let me read the quote for you verbatim. But board member Melanie Bates noted families need to know now in the midst of registrations of school lotteries. Oh, now you care about the families, Melanie. Oh, now you want to represent us, Melanie. Fake ass hell. Is Melanie Bates, is there anybody faker that we know of in Cincinnati now than Melanie Bates? Up there acting like she really care now. She don't give a damn, and she didn't give a damn when she was making them statements. I believe every word from those parents. I talked to them face to face. I talked to them in person. I believe every word. And Melanie Bates came on this show and couldn't deny it. Her true character came out. She ain't want to apologize. She want to figure out who did it. Well, let me see the tape and then I'll tell you what I said. That's leadership? That's leadership, yo. Let me get this straight. You are an elected official. And you need for me to play for you what you said before you can own up to what you said. And y'all cool with this. Y'all cool. We just gonna act like nothing's there. Okay, y'all keep doing that. I'm gonna speak my mind every time I feel it. And when we get close to that election, you can believe me, them clips gonna surface again. Because I ain't with it. That shit was disgusting. It was reprehensible. I can't everybody running around here talking about city council. We need to be watching the school board. That's what we need to be watching. We need to be watching how they are interacting. Are they above board? Are they being honest with us? Are they in the back room texting, arriving at decisions that you're supposed to be doing in public? You know what I'm saying? Are they being consistent to their conscience? You know what I'm saying? You got Ben Lindy that don't want to eat with colleagues, but he wants your kids to eat with their colleagues. And y'all think that, we just gonna gloss over this? I can't do it. I can't do the whole Cincinnati way thing. And we talked about that last week. It's over. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna say it again. Anybody doing it, send digital media or do our own. We'll do our own school board and invite the people who want to show up. We'll do our own school board forum, virtual forum, and I'll be your moderator. Anybody doing a school board forum, humbly consider me, because I want to get at that. I need a shot at that, get to the bottom of it. But it is what it is. A lot of good, smart, intelligent people that can do that. I'm just letting you know I'm here for all of that. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. And I don't want to hear no bullshit about it either. You're going to answer the question or you're going to get called out for not answering the question. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. Simple as that. But that don't make sense. I could never do that. How does it go when somebody show you who they are, believe them? I believe you, sis. I believe you. I believe you, Melanie. I believe you don't care. I believe it. Talking about families need to know. So now you want to be there for the families. Girl, please. Let me see here. The board also voted unanimously to adopt the district proposal calendar for the 2021-22 school year. Classes will begin on August 19th. Classes will begin on August 19th. And you know what? I got to catch up with Ryan Messer, because what I want to know from Ryan Messer is, Ryan, how do you go from coming on this show saying, you know what, you're right, it's not safe at Walnut Hills, to now you want to make the motion to adopt Superintendent Laura Mitchell's plan to return to in-person learning? There's still some more question marks about that. And I know how media is. Local media is like Larry Holmes, flabby. They are not up for the task. They don't like full frontal confrontation unless it's a black elected official. When it's a black elected official, they here for it. They got all the questions. They digging through the trash. They bringing up old shit. They never gonna let it go. And I'm saying, where's that same energy with this nonsense? I guess it falls on us. Mike Morosky posted this on March 10th. I maintain that 100% virtual for this school year, not blended, is better educationally, and then wait until the fall when we can offer real choice to families, not the specter of choice, but I'm prepared to support the administration as we send students back to the fourth quarter. And again, I keep making this point that why is it that Mike Morosky has such a different viewpoint than the other members of the school board? Where the hell are they coming from? How is he not right in that? The man is 100% right. And I've got to make the point again that we just saw these 7 elected officials argue against and vote against what's best based upon their own personal agendas and, the little pressures they might be dealing with via email. I mean, Melanie Bates had the nerve to say bully. She got bullied? She got bullied? No, Gabriel Taye got bullied and then took his life, Melanie. Ryan Messer had the nerve to talk about being bullied. Well, if you think that's being bullied, then you need to step away from that position so we can get some people in there that's got the kind of fortitude, the right attitude that can deal with the situation and make the kind of decisions that need to be made. That's what we need. I mean, I just can't tell you how disappointed I was collectively. There's some differences in the way I perceive the individuals, but collectively, I just can't tell you how awesomely disappointed I was, after speaking with them on this issue about the COVID and going back to school. It was a big ass disappointment across the board, black, white, whoever. Big ass disappointed. But I do give some of the school board members more props than others. Like Pam Bowers didn't have no time for us. I think she spent like 15, 20 minutes with us. I'm like, that's all you got for the people that you say you want to represent. I bet she got more time when it comes to being reelected this year. I bet she gonna find more time to get on radio and talk then, right? But when it comes to questioning you about a critical decision at a critical time, all you got is 15, 20 minutes. I get you. It is what it is. Things happen. I'll circle back around. To the others that have more time, I respect that. Anybody that's got time for us, I can respect that. I can respect it. So there's levels to it. But that shit was the dumbest things. We learned that we need better leadership on the school board. And for the Democrats out there that's got to do endorsements, y'all need to do a better job and make sure you do a really good job of making sure that you're very, very selective. And I know how it goes. If you're already a Democrat and you got the endorsement and you are an incumbent, 9 times out of 10, the Democrats are going to give you an endorsement again that'll help you when it comes to being elected. I'm just saying to my Democrat friends, y'all need to make sure y'all take that job real seriously. That ain't no joke right there. And don't let these people off the hook just because they're good Democrats. Fuck all that. Hell no. I ain't with it. See how I get set off on this? See, I was going in a whole different direction and got set off on this school board shit, man. Don't get me started on this. I am the wrong one to ask. I'm the wrong one. Don't ask me. Now, but let me say this. I maintain what I said from the beginning, that this whole thing with COVID is an opportunity for CPS and even the school board to get better at their job, to get better in terms of communicating, to get better in terms of being reflexive, being flexible, and reflecting the needs of the community. I'm not for this, we're going to try to appease everybody plan. I'm not for that. I don't think you can. I'm for what's best for the vast majority, especially when it comes for health. But if they want to adopt this resolution where you got all these different plans and they're going to be more equitable, more equity between the plans, I don't see how that's a bad thing. I'll say this again. This is to Laura Mitchell and the school board and anybody that works for CPS. All of the teachers and administrators, this is an opportunity for y'all to get better at what y'all do. It's a great opportunity. Now, whether you're going to do that or not, I don't know. I can't tell you that, but it's definitely an opportunity for you. 100%. We'll see. We'll see. Good morning to you. But I want to give you a heads up on what was the latest, so you can expect that for next school year. And they're going to have these different models and things like that. And for me, why not wait until next year when you can offer more equity to offer anything? So for instance, if you were selling hamburgers, and we all know that traditionally a sandwich has bread on the top and the bottom. Let's say you didn't have the top bun. Would you serve it to your customers anyway? Like, hey, we'll have the buns in 2 months, but we're going to give you this right now. You would never do that. So why are we taking that approach when it comes to the education of our children? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, just think about what the difference would have been if CPS was still virtual and was remaining virtual throughout the fourth quarter. What does that mean exactly? I think it's different strokes for different folks. And I stand by what I said. You had a lot of whining ass parents. Some of these parents, it's a lifestyle choice for them. It's like, damn, this is so inconvenient. I'll say it again. Those are your children. Nobody told you to have children. When you have children in this world, you have children with no expectation that anybody is going to do anything for your children. You got all these women out here like, it's my right to choose. I had a baby because I wanted it. Okay. When you have a child in this world, you have a child with no expectation that you're going to get help from anybody. You don't have no expectation of that. And that's because anything could happen. As we've seen with COVID, nobody could predict COVID. Let's say there was an earthquake tomorrow that broke down the chain of civilized, humanity, right? No lights, no running water, no internet, long lines at the grocery store. Guess who's responsible for those children and your children? You are. You are. Simple as that. I mean, it is what it is. If there was no public school option tomorrow, guess who's responsible for your children? You are. If there was a natural catastrophe, so for instance, this happened, since my daughter's been born, there was a high windstorm. It knocked out all of the lights and the power. Nobody came to my house to do a goddamn thing for me and my family. It was me and my wife taking care of it. And nobody knock on the door like, I know you need it. Where did you do that at? How many people knocked on your door during COVID to give you some help? Just thought you might need some help, neighbor. You okay? Not one person has knocked on my door. How many doors did you knock on in your neighborhood? You go around the neighborhood just offering your services. Hey, I know it's COVID going on. You got some food? I know you got children in there. You can't. Not one time did you. Okay, then. So let's stop all these games that other people are responsible for your children. That's not how this world works. I know people had issue with that. Let me break it all down. I know some people took that the wrong way when I said it. So let me say it again so you can understand what I'm saying. And so it relates with the school board. Them teachers and administrators not responsible for your kids. You are. You are. They shouldn't have to put their lives on the line for your children. You should. If anybody's going to die for your kids, it should be you. They're your kids. Simple as that. This is real simple, yo. But we live in a world where nobody's responsible for their actions anymore. It's always somebody else's fault. And people try to pull on these cords when it best suits them. That's what I've seen through this. Like I told you, humans worse than COVID. Humans worse than COVID. You are responsible for them kids, not the school board, not Laura Mitchell. You are. And if you ain't responsible to take care of your children, you shouldn't have had them, period. Yes, that means for the foreseen and the unforeseen. You responsible for all of it. You're supposed to think about everything that you know about and be flexible to deal with all the things you couldn't see coming. That's called life. And if you don't want it, then don't have them. It's real simple. You got all the control, ladies. You got all the control, but all this belly aching about, I got to go to work. You ain't the only one. Gonna ask these men and women in these school building to put their lives on the line so you can go to work. And that makes sense. That's fair to you. No, that's passing the buck. That's passing your responsibility on to somebody else. So, I'm just reiterating some things I said before. You know how I feel about it. You already know. You ain't ready for that parent life? Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't have to. You don't have to. Let me see if there's anything more I can glean for you. Let me see. There's a quote in here from Taylor Porter, principal at James N. Gamble Montessori High School, spoke at the board meeting yesterday about students' return to the classroom full time. He especially thanked the security and sanitation workers for helping with the transition. Quote, our building felt alive last week. I don't give a damn about no buildings feeling alive. See, that's the kind of stuff you got to say when you're a principal. They got to say that stuff. They got to say, oh, the building's alive. Oh, humanity was flowing through the hallways and all this kind of other bullshit. Man, I don't want to hear all of that. Who cares? But you got to say that. You know what I'm saying? If you're a principal, you got to represent you got to put that best foot forward. I get it. That's your job. That's not my job. I can keep it 100 with you. That's their job. Let me see. As of April 1st, there have been 29 in-school transmissions of COVID out of 608 student positive cases. According to data presented by CPS Chief Strategy Officer Sarah Trimble Oliver, there has been 584 staff positive cases. 584 staff positive cases. Current quarantine guidelines from the district under the guidance of the Cincinnati Health Department require students who come into close contact with an infected student to quarantine for 14 days. So that means that some students are going to lose like 2 weeks of school. They're going right back to virtual.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Saying hello?
Hello, everybody. My name is Black Panther.
Let me kiss. I love you. All right. Smell great. She put moisturizer in. That's good, man. She's supposed to do that. That's good. Yeah, Black Panther showed up on the show. You didn't even know that. You didn't know Black Panther was on the show. You get a little bit of everything here on the show. You get a little bit of everything on the show. But where was I? 14 days. During Monday's public hearing, Steve Simon, who said he has a son at Walnut Hills High School, asked the board to consider changing this rule. Students at Walnut only have 8 weeks total to be at the school year. To lose 2 weeks is a lot. That would be 20% of what they have left over. Yeah, my daughter was like, well, they got a school. This is just last night. She was like, well, the school board has a meeting. You think they might change? I was like, no, because I know how people are, and I can tell. You know what I'm saying? These school board members that voted for going back in person, they were dealing with all kinds of people calling out their character and challenging their leadership. So now that they've taken this stand, they really going to dig in now. I'm going to show you I'm a leader now. Now this is what leadership is. Out of here. Pathetic. Don't ask me no questions about them. Don't ask me no questions. I'm going to tell you the truth. Pathetic. One word, pathetic. Let me see. CPS back to school plan includes the universal use of masks, physical distancing to the maximum extent possible. See, now it's the maximum extent possible. 6 feet, 3 feet, 2 inches, 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters social distancing. We're fine, right? We fine. Don't worry about it. Hand washing, cleaning, and ventilation, contact tracing, and eventually screening testing for high school students. The website says that 69% of CPS teachers and staff have been fully vaccinated. Why isn't it 100%? It could have been 100%. I'm just saying. I mean, I know this city loves to make decisions and then act like there was no better way of doing things, but that's not true in this case. And I'm not just going to go along and get along just because that's what they decide. I'm going to keep telling you what I think. Some dumb shit. 100%. They could have waited until it was 100% of teachers and staff had been fully vaccinated. That means you just take the summer. Start in August. It would have been the safest. It would have been the smartest. It would have been the smartest. It would have been the safest. It would have been the most equitable. But this is Cincinnati, and we don't always do the smartest thing. We don't always do the smartest thing here. So, we are where we are. It is what it is. Let me see. Families that wish to stay virtual this spring can enroll in Cincinnati Digital Academy or remain in their current school through Schoology, an online educational platform. This option provides 100% student-directed learning, which means there's no live interactions with a teacher. So I just want to make sure that people understand what's happening here. We don't know what the numbers are. I'm not sure we'll ever get the numbers in terms of, what's the percentage of students and parents that decide to stay, 100% virtual, right? Because they're afraid of COVID, as they should be. We don't know what that number is yet. And whatever that number is, those people are being disenfranchised. They're being disenfranchised to benefit, I guess, people said it was certain parents out there that was really pushing for it. But like I said, if everybody's virtual, everybody's got the same access. You still got access to your teacher. Everybody's the same. Is it ideal? No. But is it equitable? Yes. Yes. Universal use of mask, which is not going to be universally used, and not all masks are the same. Physical distancing to the maximum extent possible, but it won't be 6 feet. It might be 6 millimeters. Hand washing and respiratory adequate. Number one, you're not going to get everybody to wash their hands, because the point and fact of it is you got a whole lot of dirty ass humans out there that weren't washing their hands pre-COVID. So they definitely ain't washing their hands during COVID. You know that. Cleaning and ventilation, contact tracing, isolation, quarantine. So what does that mean? That means assigned seats. That way, if somebody gets COVID, they know who you sat next to in lunch and things like that. Screening testing coming for high school students, vaccinations for staff. I mean, I think that's as much as you can ask for if you're going to choose to go back. But again, the safest would have been to ride it out for the fourth quarter. As Mike Morosky, a member of the school board, said. Why does he think so differently? And then pick back up next year when you got a better handle on where the virus is. You got more, if not all, of the staff that has been vaccinated. And you have a more equitable option for everybody. Again, some people like to half-ass it. This seems like a half-ass thing. Okay, we got to go back. Here's how we'll do it. But, we do that too much. We do that way too much, and I don't give a damn about what they're doing in other school districts. I keep telling people that. I don't care about what they're doing in Mount Healthy. I don't care what they're doing in Mason City Schools. So what? All I care about is Cincinnati. That's all I worry about right now. I ain't worried about a damn thing else. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. I know I kind of lightweight went on a flow there, but it's necessary and it's apropos as we take more steps at Walnut Hills to go back to 5 days per week, just to satisfy the ignorance of 4 school board members. Just straight up ignorance. Just the straight up ignorance of 4 school board members, including black folks. It's hard to believe, but we are where we are. I mean, I go out on a limb to say this, and again, people may not like this, but it's interesting as a black man. I mean, you got a white male that seems to care more about a school district that's 70% black than some of the black people on the school board. Now, you might say it's unfair for me to put it that way, but damn it, life is unfair. And so it is what it is. Life is unfair. So I stand by what I said. Let me move on here. Let me give you some updates on things that really matter, like the condition of DMX. I understand that the rapper known as DMX remains in a coma. He remains unconscious this morning. And there were hundreds of people, including his fiance and his ex-wife and his kids, who joined a vigil outside the hospital. And you just don't know. You just don't know. I mean, DMX should be paid, man. He should be paid. All that good music he made. He had at least 2 hot albums. 2 hot albums at least. You got to give him at least that. And a couple, at least 3 or 4 hits. At least 3 or 4. Dude should be paid. But I'm reading he's got a negative net worth. I'm like, how's that happen? Drugs, rap game. You know what it is, the drugs in the rap game. You're going to give it to the drug dealers, and the people around you going to steal it from you. So I'm looking at these images. They got a lot of people outside doing a candlelight vigil, a prayer vigil for him, hoping that, that he will, come out of the coma. Or regain his consciousness is, I guess, the best way of putting it. There's a lot of folks out there sending him a lot of positive vibes. I just want to be one of those individuals. So hope DMX recovers 100%. Politically Petty writes, Barstools isn't ESPN. Come on now. Pierce went from a Ferrari to a Mew Buick with Barstool. That's not true, brother. That ain't true. You just don't know. I know for a fact. I've seen the numbers. Barstool Sports is one of the most popular, and by popular, we're talking about plays and downstreams, media companies, period. And I didn't just say sports. I'm saying across the board. Every month there's a list that's put out of all the media companies and their overall reach. And Barstool Sports is consistently within the top 15. Think about that. We're talking about top 15 on the internet. They're getting tens of millions of views, on their platform every single month, way beyond tens of millions, way beyond that. So is ESPN got a like a different viewpoint? Are they up here? I'll give you that, but it's not like this, brother. It's like this. Barstool Sports is not that far away from them. He is not that far away from them in terms of the numbers that they're doing on a monthly basis. I'm not saying they've got a presence in every country and ESPN Deportes and all that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you just look at their plays and their downloads and things like that, like a little gnat in here. If you're just looking at that, man, they right there with them. They're right there with them. So, and we've seen a lot of people. We've seen people leave ESPN and do their own thing. What was the white dude that was with ESPN and he left and started The Ringer? And then he sold The Ringer to somebody for like $100 million. People keep sleeping. Don't keep sleeping on these digitally based new platforms. Don't sleep. So I don't think they're a Buick. I think that Barstool Sports is a sports car as well. It may not be a Ferrari. I'm just saying. I would challenge that. He ain't taking. If he goes to bar, it's just like Showtime. Them brothers on Showtime doing all the smoke, they getting millions of plays on their YouTube channel. Millions. You know, every time they upload something, it's into the 3, 4, 8, 900,000 views. That rivals what they're doing if they were on ESPN. ESPN ain't doing them kind of numbers for every show. People got it twisted. They're not doing those kind of numbers. That's why they just laid so many people off last year, because they're losing money. They're hemorrhaging money because there's more competition in that world. And the competition is coming from people like Barstool Sports and others that's doing, you know, direct to digital content, and people are finding it. There's a lot of folks out there, man. I could throw some names out there you probably even ever heard of. And they're doing crazy numbers. They're doing kind of numbers that go way beyond ESPN. ESPN is not at the top of the list when it comes to media companies. There's other media companies that are ahead of them. They're kind of way down on the list. I can't remember. I think they're like, 10 or something like that. I know that might be hard for some sports people to believe, but it's true. 100%. Let me see. Jericho writes, I like baseball. Politically petty writes, exactly, man. It's a boring ass sport. Cam writes, I only see holes in the video. I don't see any women. See, there you go. What's up with you, Cam? Sean writes, baseball is not boring. It's only boring if you never played it. Baseball is boring to me. I play baseball. I enjoy baseball to play it. But from inning to inning, it is not as exciting as basketball or football is. And that's just an opinion. I see only hoes. A classy one writes, please don't show that video again. Cliff, I'm going to have to play it one more time. Not true. I know how to throw a curve, fastball, and slider. It's too slow. Wish I kept it when I was younger. Baseball is more fun to play than to watch unless you're actually at the game. Now, if you're at the game and you got your hot dogs and you got some good people around you and you're enjoying it, oh, it's hella fun. Other than that, no. Reds fired Dusty Baker, right? Lemmy Rice early vote. Jim Neal, not on the ballot. Does Cecil Thomas have extra small medium t-shirts? I don't know what you mean by that. A classy one writes, businesses pulling out of GA due to new voting law as if they will make a difference. Leave politics out of businesses and entertainment. Okay. Is this Smitherman on the phone? I smell Caitlyn Jenner. Y'all wrong for that. Listen, I've already reminded you, but I want to do it again. My friends over at Renew Community Church this morning have an opportunity for you, and I want to make sure that you take advantage of it. Starting on this, so they're kicked off something called the Focus 2021 series, and with it, they're offering a free downloadable ebook. You can download it to whatever device and check it out for yourself. Now, what's in it? Well, what's in it is tools, resources, advice, tips, strategies on how you can live your best life, essentially, how you can deal with obstacles. And if it sounds like something you might be interested in taking a look at, download it for free today. There's a link in the description. You can check it out there. And up until this Friday, now Friday is going to be the cutoff if you want coaching. So they were offering two things, a free 142-page ebook and also 30 minutes of free professional coaching. and the response has been big. I did talk with my friends over at Renew Community Church in the last few days, and what they told me is that they've had a huge response. A lot of people signed up for the coaching, but some people have not filled out the waiver. So just think for a second, if that's you, you might have downloaded the book and signed up for the coaching. If you didn't sign the waiver, then unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get the coaching. You got to sign that waiver. So I just want to make sure I let you know. And this opportunity is available up until this Friday. So on this Friday, you'll still be able to download the ebook, but starting on the 9th or after the 9th, you'll not, that's when they're going to close the window for professional coaching. Okay. So if you're interested, get involved, get in line first. I want my folks to get in line first. And when you do, let me know all about it. Nakia writes, AFTAB. Yeah, my question is, if the election was held today, because early voting just opened, we've got this mayoral primary coming up next month. Who is your front runner right now? It's a very basic question. I know everybody's asking. It's very simple. And it's basic because it needs to be basic. I simply want to know what you think. Def writes, hello all. Good morning to you, Def. Greg writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Cam writes, it is sad that the line between women and whores has been so blurred that men can't even tell the difference. You got to let a hoe be a hoe. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I learned this a long time ago. Many have obviously missed that lesson, shaking my head. Ronald writes, we have a border crisis, ? I thought Trump made Mexico pay for a wall for the southern border. That's what he promised. What happened? Oh, you making points out here, Ronald? Yeah, we know Trump didn't have no power to get no damn. I'm going to make Mexico play for it. That's the kind of stuff that got a lot of white people that supported Trump all in their feelings. Like, yeah, we're going to make you do this. Yeah, you going to do this and you going to do this and you going to do this, right? They didn't do a damn thing. Trump didn't remake a damn thing. He just replaced parts of the border wall that need to be replaced. It seems like at least once a month or once every 2 months, a video goes viral of some people that seem either walking through the fence or just jumping over the fence. It's like they take their sack, they throw their sack way over it, and then they just climb up on some T-shirts and then shimmy down the other side, and it's a wrap. Talking about border wall. Get the hell out of here. It's no surprise that the Republicans are getting behind David Mann, the viable white candidate. Yeah, well, I mean, you got Gavi. I want to reach out to Gavi, is it Bechtrup, and bring him on the show. He said some interesting things. He's got an interesting energy, and there's some things I like to get a little deeper with him on that. So I'll reach out. Plus, I'm going to be reaching out to all the candidates to make sure that they post their Black agenda. And if they don't, I'm going to blast them out there. Just so you know, I mean, why you come to the Black community and lie? Why you go to the NAACP and tell us that you was going to put up a Black agenda on your website in a week, and 2 weeks later, you just don't have anything on your website about a Black agenda. So I'll do that work. You know it. Charles writes, Black and Gilligan made that subtitle up. Black and Gilligan. Yo, right. Does twerking make you a hoe, Nathan? I'm just asking. I'm sure that a Virgo will know. No, twerking does not make you a hoe. No, how could it? Does doing the salsa make you a hoe? Terrence writes, tactical training, you say? Yeah, we did tactical. For me, I know you on another level with it, brother, but I'm just saying from my standpoint, that's how it is, you're not just standing still. We were actually moving around, hitting multiple targets, shooting at close districts, to medium district, the distance to long distance, things like that. Lemmy writes, lungs and smoke don't work. You're right. So is breathing in chemicals from the nearby chemical plants, correct? Correct. Maurice writes, so what's the difference between smoking weed and eating it? Well, the difference is that you're not impacting your lungs. That's the difference. So you got people out there that do edibles, okay? You're not smoking it, so it's not going and damaging the cells in your lungs. That's what the difference is. Like, again, I don't have no problem with nobody doing whatever they want to do. Grown folks, I'm pro grown folks. Do you? Dude, I don't have no problem with drug abuse whatsoever. If you want to overdo drugs, you should have the right to do that. You go right ahead. Now, I don't want to pay for your funeral and all the other, I don't want to rush to the hospital every time. But if you want to sit in your home and do drugs, you go right ahead and do that. Just don't ask me to pay for it. Alcohol is more dangerous for sure. Absolutely. All day, every day. Danita's in the house. She writes, good morning. First day back from spring break. Still going to be a terrific Tuesday, even though I wasn't ready. Roy writes, Ricky was talking about gun violence. Is that right? Okay, I missed it. I ain't the biggest Ricky Smiley fan. I don't know what it is about Ricky. That brother is hella talented and all that kind of stuff. I never liked his comedy. The whole church lady, church routine, it doesn't really touch me. I know I'm not shitting on him. I know a lot of people like the brother. I don't really listen to his show. I did see the video when he was talking about he had a six-figure, opportunity for somebody that didn't cut their hair. But other than that, I don't really check for Ricky Smiley like that. So thanks for letting me know. Let me see. Mason schools are back today after a quiet spring break. Okay, good. Black Russia writes, good morning, alt middle, go vote. Lemmy writes, Asian customer service skills could improve. Charles writes, it's more to the T and Bowl story. We're just hearing the retaliation from their side. Yeah, there must be more to it, because how is it that you have this cluster of Asian restaurants and they're the only ones that's dealing with harassment? What did they do? Or if that's not the right question, why are they being singled out? What really happened? Like, I had a bad experience once at an Asian, it was a Chinese restaurant called Red Dragon, I think it was. And I went to it a couple times, when I was in college. Went to it one time and found a fly, like a full adult fly in my food. Took it back. They wanted to act like I put the fly in there. And I'm looking at this woman like, wait a minute. You think I came into your store, stood in line, purchased the food, took it home, put a fly in it so I could bring it back to get my money back? Does that make any fucking sense? Right? So we fell out about that. We fell out of big time. That was the last time I ever went there for obvious reasons. I think those black people who have been assaulting Asians are paid or requested to do so. Asians are not our allies. Asians don't like black people. Is that right? Asians don't like black people. I'm trying to think about my own circle and how many Asian folks are in my own circle. And there's not a lot, actually. And let me just say this. My experience has been, and the way I judge people is I judge people on an individual basis. White, black, or whatever. It's all about what our relationship is like together. And then once I know you, what I observe from you and things like that. So when I'm meeting people, I don't really have any bias toward anybody. I give everybody a clean slate. Now, am I favorable to black people? Well, obviously I am. You already know that, but I'm not against anybody. I'm for everybody. See, I have no problem with anybody. I can get along with anybody. And I'm trying to think, have I had any issues with Asian people? And nothing I can recall in the moment. I don't think I've ever had an issue where I felt like Asian people were being disrespectful or racist toward me. I am aware of the racism in certain cultures around the world and how black people are viewed. I'm very aware of it, but I'm trying to think about my personal relationships. I haven't had those issues. I've had more issues with black people than Asian people, quite honestly. I've had more hate, more black people trying to do some fuck shit and trying to be silly and be fun and all this kind of stuff, or try to be whatever, than I have Asian people. And I think that's probably going to be, I think everybody feels that way. Like if you're white or black, you probably had a similar experience. But to my knowledge, I've never had any issues with Asian folks. My natural inclination, and this is just like my start button, my natural inclination is to be more of a collaborator, to think about where we agree more than we disagree. So when I walk into a situation, I'm more concerned about where we agree than where we disagree, whether that's Asian, white, whoever. We might not agree on all the issues, but can we whittle down to where we actually agree, and we can work on that. And if we can see eye to eye on some other shit down the road, then great, we can do that. Other than that, I don't really have no issue with it. Graston Rice, talk show host, you still talking about masks? Did you see 40,000 in Arlington, Texas watching Rangers game? Masks are about over, bro. Hashtag alt middle. Well, not according to the CDC. CDC is saying masks are still being vogue. And you're right. If you look at baseball, I think all this stuff is happening too early myself. But we are where we are. But the CDC is still recommending that you wear masks. And even after they stop, you probably should still be wearing a mask. As a matter of fact, the CDC is so into wearing masks that right now they got a little bit of a contest going on. Do you know this? The CDC has an open design challenge to build tomorrow's mask. And the purse is $500,000. Yes, the CDC is asking people to submit designs for what's called the Mask Innovation Challenge. Are you aware of this? Let me put it on the screen for you so you don't think I'm making this shit up. I wouldn't do that. I don't have time for that. But here's a screenshot right there. Mask Innovation Challenge, straight from the .gov website. And they're asking for you, for us, the public, to submit your design for the barrier covering of the future. Because we're probably going to have to deal with COVID-20 or COVID-21, COVID-25, COVID-69, right? Get ready for it. So I hear what you're saying, bro, but the CDC is doing something completely different. You know what I'm saying? So no, masks are not, and I could tell, like I do a walk every single day and I generally walk in public, like at a park, and I'm starting to see less and less people wear their masks. And I'm like walking like full on sweating, getting it in with a mask on. And I'll be honest with you, it's starting to get irritating to me. It's starting to get irritating to me in the sense that it just feels so disrespectful. Like I know you in public and all, and you in the air, but you don't have a mask on your pocket or something you can throw on real quick. And then some of these people want to walk right next to you. And not only do they want to walk right next to you, they want to say hi. So let me just give you a memo. It is not polite to say hi to somebody without a mask on. Save your hi. I don't need you to say good morning, hello, hi, how you doing? None of that. And I never respond. It just blows my mind. I just keep on walking. I never respond. I don't even give them a head shake. I just keep on walking. And fuck yo hi. If you really want to be gracious toward me, if you really want to be polite, then put a fucking mask on. Then put on a mask. Then put on a fucking mask if you really want to be polite to me. But saying hi to me without a mask on is not polite, just so you know. Don't say shit to me without a mask on. Put a mask on. Just saying, put a mask on. So we got some people coming to the house today delivering a bed, right? For medium Buddha. She outgrew her bed, so we got to get her a new one. And you already know, I'm just waiting to see if these mofos going to show up and try to walk in here with our mask on. You already know. I'm just waiting for it so I can correct them. And oh, by the way, here's some booties. And don't walk back to your car with the booties on and then think you're going to walk into my house. It defeats the purpose. Man, listen, I paid for a dude. We didn't pay for it, but I set it up for some people to come to the house. This was like sometime last year. I think it was before COVID. So actually, it might even been early last year. It was like January of last year, right? And I called, set it all up. They came to the house. They was going to do the carpet cleaning, right? And they was going to clean the whole carpet, throughout the house. I set it up. I called them. They come to the house. I go to the door. The dude comes to the door. And no, let me back this up. So what happened is I take that back. I told the story wrong. He didn't knock on the door. I was looking out the window and saw him coming. And I'm in the window and I see this man drum up As he walks from the car, I guess he put the booties on his shoes, and that's like a covering. He put the booties on his shoes when he was in the car and walked from outside in the street, through the grass, up the steps, knocked on the door. Booties always on the door. You know what I did? I told him I didn't even want it. That's wrong, bro. You're only supposed to put the booties on when you get to the door, as you step into the house, because it defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose. It's similar. You got people working in your house and they got booties on, right? Dude has to go out to the truck to get something. Now, what should he do? Well, what he should do is take them off as he leaves your house so he don't track the dirt from outside back into your house. But I've watched people try to do this, and I always stop them like, stop right there, man. I mean, think about what you're doing. It defeats the purpose. Why would I have you tracked? Whether it's the bottom of your shoe or the bottom of the booties, you were outside, man. And in my household, it's a no-shoe household. I got kids, shit falls on the floor. I just don't need all that stuff inside my house. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm telling you this, man, but I am anyway. It is. I put it out there already. It is what it is. The intricacies of being a Virgo, I guess. Let's see. Leonard writes, ESPN is on the way out. The NBA athlete has a lot of players that know their worth. Yup. Leonard, they are on their way out. They are on their way out. They're on their, I won't say they're on their way out, but they're on their way to change. Because what's happening now is these athletes have the money to start their own YouTube channels, their own platforms, and it's so easy for them these days. So what's happening is you got situations where they don't even really need ESPN. They don't even read it. They don't need ESPN to connect with their fans or to get a platform. They can just do what I Am Athletes doing. Them brothers is getting they get more numbers on YouTube than ESPN does. So, or just as much. So do your own thing. I guess that's what it is. Choice is not CDA in Power School. I agree with you, and the superintendent agreed with it. I don't understand, again, as we stand here, and many of the schools have already went back, but Walnut Hills now is starting to go back grade by grade. And today marks the 10th. I think today is the 9th and 10th graders. Okay. So they're going back today. And again, I believe what Mike Morosky said was true to this day. They should have remained virtual until next year. It would have been safer. It would have been smarter. It would have been more equitable. But this city doesn't do what's smart. Many times in this city, we don't care about what's equitable. We only care about appeasing the loudest voices. And so that's what they did. And it is what it is. We are where we are. Simple as that. 513-873-7134. And then there's such disunity in the community. There ain't a whole lot of unity in the community. You got little pockets here or there, but there's not a whole lot of unity. Like, everybody's not on the same page about things. People got different opinions. Sometimes competing opinions. It is what it is. So let me see. Nat writes, so the school board canceled you? I guess. I don't know. I mean, they can think they did. they can think, but I'm on every day. I still got the tapes. Virus is spreading rapidly among young and those left from vaccine hesitancy. Yep, it is. Maurice writes, go for the jugular, Nate. Yeah, we need to. Saying something over and over doesn't make it true. It just means you're repeating your opinion over and over. I said that. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. But the reason why I say it over is because I understand how the human brain works, Danita. Like, sometimes you can say something and people won't hear it. Or sometimes people can misunderstand it or misconstrue it. So what I found is, from time to time on certain issues, I got to keep hitting that nail. The other reason is the Cincinnati polite way of doing things in media is to be outraged for a moment and then to get over it. And I'm anti-Cincinnati polite. Okay, so that's part of my whole iconoclastic flow, you know what I'm saying? Is I'm not going to let things go just because somebody else thinks I should or whatever. It means no difference to me. You know, if I feel like it's the right thing to do, I think it's the right thing to do. And I'm going to keep doing that. And don't care who don't like it. It makes no difference. More children have lost their parents because of COVID-19. Kids on spring break have come home and affected parents who have become hospitalized who were generally healthy. If you share your interviews with the school board on social media, you will ensure that Melanie Bates is reelected. Okay. So be it. The newer variants are stronger and attacks the respiratory, making it hard to breathe. Please don't wait and learn the hard way. Hey, Danita, what you got to understand is I don't do what other people do. If I did what everybody else did, then why am I here? What's the point of doing all of this? If I'm just going to say what everybody else say and I'm going to do what everybody else do, then why do a show? What's the purpose of it? You're not in the same old spots. I'm going to do things complete. I'm going to jump out the window sometime with it. It is what it is because we need that. So if you're expecting what you get from Lincoln or what you get on the Buzz or what you're in the wrong spot. This is not that spot. I might come from a whole different viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? I might harp on something every day for a year if I think that's what needs to happen. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're just saying that because you still don't understand. You still disagree with the point, even though it's been proven over and over again that what I said was true. Lemmy writes, school and jobs environment for COVID-19. People go work and school sick all the time, shaking my head. They do. Graxton writes, Bates getting reelected at large race, and y'all keep saying her name, getting her name recognition up. Great strategy. Then she gets reelected. So be it. And she ain't gonna get reelected because of nothing I say. She's gonna get reelected because people either are ignorant or they support her. That's it. Simple as that. I'm just letting you know how I feel about it. Now you might feel differently, and that's okay. But one thing is for sure, you'll never be able to say you don't know how I feel about it. Simple as that. Let me see. Buses are back to sitting next to each other. My child's teacher became sick before spring break. The assistants became sick before Easter weekend. CPS decision was political and irresponsible. Yeah, it was. It was very irresponsible. It was a very irresponsible decision. Danita writes, access to teacher is not the only issue. We're dealing with equity. It is what it is important to you. People have been screening. It wasn't equitable this whole time. You just thought it was equitable because you wanted kids at home. No, I thought it was equitable because it's more equitable. I mean, that's why. Yeah, I mean, people, what happens is, and that's the reason why I keep saying, matter of fact, part of the reason why I keep saying is to people like you, Danita, who I can tell are either misconstruing or trying to twist it. So I got to make sure I set the record straight, sis. As I said, it was the most equitable, okay, and the safest. And by equitable, I mean access to your teacher. I've been very clear about that. Now, if you want to run with it and talk about how some kids don't learn and some kids don't have computers, you can try all of that, but it doesn't in any way touch the point I just made at all. And it's undeniable. There are no articulate, cogent, intelligent arguments to counteract what I just said. There are none. Because if they were, I would have heard them already. There are no arguments against that. Everybody knows that what I'm saying is true. It's just that people have different feelings about it. But what I said is the truth. It is the truth, no doubt about it. Graston writes, low class and fake. Tell us how you really feel, talk show host. You talking about Melanie Bay? Oh, yeah. She has no class, no dignity, and she's fake as hell. Yeah, no doubt about it. Tell me, how am I wrong on that? You in a bar. You're a school board member. During a pandemic, parents are making life and death decisions with their children, and you're in a bar talking super loud, uncouth, off the top, no class, off the top, talking about work, talking about parents, talking about your colleagues, and you are in a bar doing this. No, she has no class. And then the way that she dealt with that whole situation showed us she had no class either. Talking about well, can you show me the tape and then I'll tell you what I said? What? Really? We doing that now? And she has no dignity. Because if she had any of it, she would have stepped down and let somebody that really cares do the job. I suspect that Melanie Bates is in staying because she ain't got shit else to do. What else is she gonna do? This is how she's a somebody in Cincinnati. She's a school board member. I'm a somebody, right? That's my feeling from it. Now I could be completely wrong, but that's the way I read Melanie Bates. And I don't know her like that. I mean, I just had one conversation with her and just what I'm picking up. She's a school board member because it gives her status. And there's a lot of people that do shit just for status. I'm a somebody. I'm a school board member. Yeah. I get my parking space up there when I go to the meetings, reserved for me, and I'm a somebody. I matter. That's what it comes across to me. Because she obviously showed, when people drinking, that's their sober thoughts. She told us what she thinks. She told us. Simple as that. And that's it. And I would even go so far to say that if she was black, if that was Pam Bowers or Melanie or Carolyn Jones that said that, I think there would have been more of an outrage. But we're so used to white folks behaving badly in Cincinnati and getting away with it that it's no big deal. It's just a couple drinks. I blow off steam all the time too. Everybody blows off steam, but everybody don't go to a public setting talking super loud and super tough. Do you do that? Like, raise your hand if you ain't never been frustrated on your job. We all get frustrated on the job. Everybody. But how many of us then go to a public setting and start talking super loud, super reckless? How many people do that? You don't do it because you got more class than that. And that's why I say she has no class. And I stand by that. Simple as that. I would tell her that. I hope she's watching this, Melanie. That's how I feel about you. Simple as that. I mean, just one man's opinion. Grass and Rice didn't run, talk show host. I'm running now. I'm running this show. I'm running already. You run. Kelly writes, Nathan Ivey preaching regarding watching city council, watch these BS school board officials. Right. Everybody run around talking about gang of five. What about the gang of four on the school board? What's happening with that case? Well, haven't we heard anything else about that case of them text messaging? Is there anything to it? Are they negotiating right now behind closed doors? What's going on exactly? Greg writes, is Melanie Bates the lady you interviewed on your show who was recorded saying offensive things in a bar and questioned why she was recording instead of addressing what she said? Yes, that is who she was. Yes, that's the woman. Pamela writes, I thought Nate was going to say girl power. Girl power. That was some girl power. I see no girls in the picture. I see women. Kelly writes, Nate preaching regarding Cincinnati media not ready for that real journalism. Nah, I mean, it's some real journalists, but I see too much gets passed. And sometimes certain issues need to be focused on. Like sustained, we're going to stay right here on this one issue until we get to the bottom of it. There's not enough of that. And I get that's just the nature of the media, though. I mean, there's always another day. There's always another story. I get it. In no way am I trying to put anybody down. Everybody has a role to play here. No different than mine, way bigger than mine and ours. It is what it is. Graston writes, Morosky has a different view because he's an atheist. Well, I'm not sure that's what it is. I think it's because of the work that he's done and the work that he does. That's what I think it is. I think it's because of the nature of the work that he does. And right now with Cradle Cincinnati, so that he's hyper focused and vigilant on safety more so than other people. That's what I think it is. And I asked Mike Morosky, and when he came on the show, he was nice enough to come on the show and he said it for himself. So that's what I personally think. And again, I'm not trying to say vote for one person or another because I don't do endorsements. But what I'm telling you is I'm just giving you my honest thoughts about the people that we're talking about. And my thing is, why didn't we have more school board members that cared about the health and well-being of the students as it relates to COVID? And I think what we found out is that, quite honestly, a lot of these school board members are in over their head. I mean, the job is too big for them, quite honestly. Like, when there's really no pressure and nobody's really paying attention and you're just kind of going through the motions, it's easy. But when there's pressure and everybody's watching and there's demands and there's critical issues, that's when you get a chance to see who the real leaders are. And we saw. And we saw. TNT writes, more people will die that did not have to die. And let me add to that, more people will get sick that didn't have to get sick with the CPS plan. Danita writes, I think she's talking. Danita writes, I think the problem here is that people think this show is the pulse of the city. Now she hating. Of Cincinnati. Some of the ideas, yes, but if you actually take the time to ask these same questions of people that don't listen to this show, you get the opposite perspective. Pulse of the city. Well, it's hard to, I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from that. Where you coming with that, Danita? What I would say to you is that, people can think whatever they want to think. I don't care what people think. I don't care if you think it's the pulse of the city or not. And I would say that critique is a critique you can make of any show. Like, there's no one show or no one person or no one audience that speaks for anyone. You never heard me say that or anybody else here. So that's not what it really is. But when you in Wakanda, damn it, you in Wakanda. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you on a Nathan Ivey show, this is where you at. Simple as that. I don't really care about what anybody thinks anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what somebody thinks on another show in Cincinnati. I don't care what somebody else talking about on another show. I only care about what we talk about on this show and the shows that we do with CDM. Nothing else really matters to me, but that's just my focus. In terms of the audience, I think what's great for you is that you get a benefit of jumping around and you hear different opinions. And that's the whole point, right? The whole point of having independent media is having divergent points of view, different opinions. We might even agree, but we reach an agreement from two different venues or two different paths. I think there's a value in that. So no, sis, I don't think anybody, including myself, is trying to say that, we talk for the city per se. But we're just another voice here. Nathan Ivey Show is just another voice. And considering where we started, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that all day, every day. I'll take it all day, every day. So, Graston writes, Base and Lindy, your charter, they don't give a fuck about Democrats or Republican. My type of independence, hashtag alt middle. I would tell either one of them to their face. I've lost a degree of respect for both of them through this COVID thing. For Bates, for, just revealing her honest thoughts and then not having the dignity to step away. And then for Lindy, he was willing to put my kids in jeopardy, but he don't even want to eat with his own colleagues. So that lack of consistency right there in a really critical moment is still an issue for me. And then just some of the leaps in logic is just hard for me to get over. Like, everybody's different. Everybody's different. For me, the leaps in logic is part of the issue. But I think that what you're seeing in the audience right now, at least with some of the choppers, is what I said earlier. That the idea of unity in Cincinnati is foreign. That's not really true. Where they do that at? Because even within the Black community, you have people that have their own agendas and their own viewpoints. So, I hear what you're saying, and they might get reelected. So be it. If they do, I still feel the same way. It ain't going to change for me. Politically Petty writes, Nate is right. You don't want to turn around and have a Selite Smitherman type in your party. Kelly writes, Nathan Ivy, I feel everything you're saying about CPS and the school board. Everyone could have leveled up during this time. Yeah, I mean, see, here's the opportunity about that, Kelly, is that with a crisis, leadership has an opportunity to show us who they really are. COVID-19 cost Donald Trump the election. If there was no COVID-19, Donald Trump would have been reelected. He would have narrowly beat Joe Biden. I've got no doubts about that. But he was so horrible in his response that people had to come out just to make sure he got out so we could get real leadership. And same thing with the school board and local folks here. We've got a chance to see who they really are in a moment of crisis. For some, okay, great. For others, not really. And for others, hell to the nah. And it is what it is. Each of us have to make their own decision. Kelly writes, CPS missed opportunities left and right. They did. But hopefully they'll get better with it right now. Rachel writes, good morning and salutations, family. Good morning to you. Danita writes, it's hilarious that you would call people who want their kids back on school or whining ass parents, but got offended when you were called a whining ass parents for when your kid at home pop meets kettle. I see what you're trying to do, sis, but no go on that. Number one, I've been pretty consistent. And I don't remember anybody ever calling me a whining ass parent. I don't ever remember that. I remember somebody saying something like, I can't remember what it was. Somebody said something. And my attitude has always been consistent, sis. So let me stop you right there, Danita, so I can hold you in your tracks, sis. Because if you bold enough to make a statement, I'm bold enough to react to your statement. You can believe that, bar none. No, I was pretty consistent. You know, what I told parents who were whining and complaining, there was whining as parents. Some of these parents were it was a lifestyle issue. That's who I was talking about. What I told them is that you're going to have to make it happen, Captain. That's what I told them. Those are your kids. And then when CPS, and everybody remembers this, and if you don't, make sure you let Danita know. So when CBS made the decision to go back to 5 days a week, I said the same thing. I said to all those parents, you're going to have to make it happen, Captain. So I see what you're trying to do, sis, but it's a no-go over here because you're dealing with the wrong one. I'm super consistent with mine. So no, that's not true. You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I said the same for both. And I mean that. So when it comes to my kids, I'm responsible for my kids, not you, not the school, not Laura Mitchell, not the school board. If my kids got to stay at home, and that I would rather for me to get sick in the home than for for my kids to give COVID to a teacher or parent, because I'm forcing them to go back to school before it's time. I'd rather that all day long. So that's just me. So no, sis, that ain't true. You must be talking about somebody else. I said the same thing on both ends. That is, make it happen, Captain. You're going to have to make it work. If we virtual and it's tough, make it happen, Captain. If we're not virtual and it's tough, make it happen, Captain. That's pretty consistent, sis. No, that ain't going to work. Sean writes, preach it, brother Nate. Oh, absolutely. Kelly writes, say it louder for the people in the back. Kelly writes, there is no humanity. Folks don't care about taking care of others anymore. That includes kids. It's a damn shame. Greg writes, what do you say, Nate, to the parents who are responsible for their children but have to go to work but put bread and butter on the table for the kids? I say, make it happen, Captain. That's what I say. That's what I said. Last year, people got in their feelings. I think Danita called in and she let me have it. And people was letting me have it. That's cool. I have no problem with that. It's a talk show, but that don't change my opinion just because somebody has a strong contrary opinion. I stand by what I said. You, mom and dad, are the ones who are responsible for your children, not the teacher, not the principal, not the school board in a moment of public crisis. You're going to have to make it happen. It's the same thing with the parents now. For the parents now who are like, you know what? And parents are doing that. It's some parents like, my kids ain't going back. They staying virtual. Those parents are prepared to do what it takes. They are making it happen. That's what you got to do. It is what it is. You know, we are where we are. And when we found out the CPS was making this decision, what did I tell you? I told you, you got to make it happen. You got to focus on getting prepared for that first day of school, getting your body right, building up your natural immunity, coming up with a protocol when your kids come home, figuring out what's the safest way possible for your kids to attend school. If you decide that choice, and you got to deal with it. I think people try to nitpick and find fault on small stuff when your flow is tight. When your flow is tight, people just they try to find some chink in the armor. He's got to be inconsistent on something. He's got to be no. I mean, maybe on another issue, but on this issue, I'm rock solid. It is what it is. Parents, you're responsible. My kids, I'm responsible. Not you. Not you. There's nobody in this audience who I've reached out to ask you to do a damn thing for my kids doing this. Because I'm responsible. I'm their father. You know what I'm saying? It's me on their moms. That's it. That's just the way the world goes. Let me see. Listen, again, Danita, when you're in Wakanda, we don't give a damn what the rest of the world is doing. If you go to Wakanda and start talking about what they're doing in Europe, they look at you like you a damn fool. I don't care about what they're doing anywhere else and what anybody thinks outside of what we think here. I could care less. Makes no difference to me. Brenda Rice Jr. is so cute. Yeah, he just came in with the the Black Panther. Hello, people. He's talking, doing voices. Lemmy writes, everyone does not want to take vaccination. It is mandatory. Rachel writes, I got to get out of here, guys. It's after 10. It will not be 100% vaccination of staff because vaccination is optional. Good point. Good point. Let me see. Michael writes, people are killing me about vaccination. It don't stop anything. It only reduces symptoms for the people who gets it. Then they can still spread it. Michael, this man is speaking so much facts. He's so right about that. The vaccination, all it does, like he said, it stops the symptoms. You can still pass it on. It gives you protections, but it doesn't protect people from you. Another reason as to why I say that all the folks that believe, and it's a lot of folks, not just me, including at least one school board member that's got some sense. The rest of them, I don't know what they take in. I don't know what they own. I don't get it. I don't really understand it. But it would have been safer to start back up next year. Kelly writes, equitable? Yes. Kelly understands. It's real simple. Some people trying to make this more difficult than it really has to be. This is simple, people. This is real easy. This ain't no rocket science, difficult thing to figure out. It's real simple. Let me write prayers up for DMX. TNT writes, it never made sense when we were at high level of spread, ignoring the CDC recommendations without all of the funding from federal government to ensure a safe return. Just straight up asinine, thank you. Charles writes, they say X is in a vegetative state. He might be, man. You mean you've been taking drugs for years and years and years. You get an OD, his body might just be done. His body, he might not ever wake up. Stefan's in the house. He writes, morning, my motivators. Hey, haters, y'all know who y'all are, Glenn. Well, damn, you coming in like that? If you don't got no haters, you ain't popping. What in the hell? Is this spillover from another show? Sean writes, DMX was deprived of oxygen for more than 30 minutes. Oh, don't tell me that. Is that true, Sean? 30 minutes? Again, I'm no medical doctor, but that don't sound good at all. That sounds like, and I hate to say it, that sounds like they're going to be pulling a plug on bro real soon. 30 minutes? Can you recover from something like that? Can a human brain recover from not having oxygen for 30 minutes? Is that true? Man, gee, I hope that's not true, man. Hope that's not true. Most rappers go broke because of the IRS. I think it's bad money management, drugs, and I think it's those two things. Drugs and bad money management. That's what do them in. Spending money you shouldn't be spending on things that depreciate. Not having somebody to look after your financial matters. And then when the tax man come around, you got to give him a big ass check. Oop, all the money gone. Rachel writes, one of my Of my friends and family who have children in CPS, less than 25% want their children home. Nate, you have to realize you may be in the minority of all CPS parents. I don't know what you're talking about here. Rachel, I want my kids to go to school. We all want our kids to go to school. No, I'm with everybody else. I want my kids to go to school every single day. That's where I think they are their best. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I wanted from day one. I never wanted my kids to stay home. My son is going into kindergarten. I wanted him to go to kindergarten 5 days a week like every other kid. It was COVID that forced kids to go away. It ain't about what I wanted. It was COVID. The fact that it was a health issue. Again, the way that we word this, Rachel, I think is really, really important. So everybody wants, see, that's one of the big misnomers about this. Everybody wants their kids in school 5 days a week. It was COVID that changed all of that. Not me. It wasn't my desire. Let me see. Charles writes, crack is why he has a negative net worth. I hope he recovers, but he is human and most of them come back from that state. That's terrible right there when it comes to DMX, man. It really is. Listen, before I roll out, I want to remind you that you can download a free ebook this morning, a part of the Focus 2021 series. You can do so at renewcommunitychurch.org. There's a link in today's description. They're also offering 30 minutes of free professional coaching. The offer for the coaching will expire on Friday. So Friday is the last day if you want to sign up for the coaching. If you want the ebook, you can download that into the future. But the coaching will end on Friday. I want to make sure you get a heads up so you can be first in line. All right. That's about my time this morning, y'all. Have an excellent rest of your day. Okay. I really wish you the best. Have an excellent and powerful Tuesday. Make it the best. To all my hustlers out there, entrepreneurs, creative types, remember our motto: winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Stay focused, stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nate Ivy, and I'm out.